And welcome everybody. How you doing? This is Captain Jack here. I apologize for shortening the length of the intro music, and I would normally do that, but I really got to get along here with the one and only Violator. And first off, I am I would say I definitely want to say thank you to Raiderhead for giving me permission to use the Viva Los Raiders track that you saw on some of the intros that we've had. I appreciate that. We'll definitely have more Raider tracks on. I'm definitely going to get with Aaron and Shalik to see what the best tracks from 4Dub are, and they will be incorporated as well. But again, thank you for Raiderhead. I do want to make sure that you know that Raiderhead, you can buy that track and you can see that track here on YouTube. So make sure you go over there, hit up the site, and get that great track, Viva Los Raiders. Again, thank you for being here. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitch. And we're probably being brought, and actually not probably, we are being broadcast around the world, because I know I got some people on that are over there in Europe, and I hope to have some folks pipe on that are in Asia. As I know Toru usually hangs out with us in Japan. And without further ado, I'm going to shut up because I talk too much, and I'm going to turn the show over to the man that we all want to hear from. And first off, I'm turning my Skype off because I don't want people to call in while you're there, Wayne. And by the way, if you're ready to call, don't call, because Wayne is on the line. The one and only Violator, Mr. Wayne Mabry. Wayne, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Raider Nation. Let's get this party started.
It's always a party when you're on. And again, I do want to say thank you for spending your time with us. Actually, I just want to do one more thing here, so people do not Skype in as well. There we go. Okay, now that Skype number is not on. Wayne, everybody knows you as Violator, but I'd like to actually ask who is Wayne Mabry, because that's very important as well, that we know who you are, and we identify with the persona. But tell us more about the man Wayne Mabry.
Wayne and the Violator are identical twins. One just shows his colors a little bit different than the other one. I'm kind of a self-motivated, self-starter, so to speak, goal-oriented person who grew up in the South, grew up very poor. So I look at life a little bit different. Never had that silver spoon. Nothing was given. So, I'm kind of like a natural-born hustler. I'm always looking for ways of improving my life and also helping those along the way that I come into contact with. So basically, I'm just one of those down-to-earth guys, a rabid Raider fan since 1970, got inflicted with that disease I call Raider tuberculosis back then, and like I say, the rest is like a living motion picture.
Okay, so growing up and whatnot, and apologize while I try to get the right tracks up here, and there we go. See. And I actually have some photo proof as we show on the screen that Wayne and I go back a bit, and I think I don't even remember. It was God. I can't remember the first time I got a chance, the pleasure to meeting you, because I go back with a lot of the older personas. I know that I met Spike a long time ago in Tennessee, and that was the first time I was. I guess had the pleasure of meeting the very renowned folks of Super Fandom. But I definitely remember coming the first time that I do remember, and I think that is the picture that I see that everybody in the audience can see up on the side, is a Captain Jack with no gray in his beard because I was coloring it at the time, coming down to see coming down to see you and Sean Senor down in your area of the field, and I was just so elated. And I might have seen you earlier, but I know that I had the chance to come down and see you and Sean in your element in Oakland. And to me, that was just the greatest thing that I knew was seeing you guys there, and that you reached out to me and welcomed me, and you've always welcomed me with such warmness to, and you do that with everybody. But again, I appreciated that. And what more about you now? I got to tell you, you're a fit sob, okay? Because you got the physique. You've always had that, and I'm sure you always will have that. But what I wanted to know is that what did you do? I mean, bring us back, shall we say, to maybe your childhood or when you were growing up. I mean, sports obviously, and your family life. What actually inspired you more to get more out into your persona? You said that you and Violator are twins separated basically by dressing out, and I can agree with that. But for example, what is the significance of the 57? Is there a significance in the 57 jersey you wear?
Okay, to answer that question first, Captain, so everybody understands, 57 is the jersey that I decided that's the last one that I'm going to buy after they start shipping my players out that I love. So Jerry Robinson was the last guy that donned that 57 when I made that decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to be known, this character is going to be known by that number. That way there's no mistake. And it hasn't changed for 29 years. Now going back to childhood, I was an introvert as a kid. So all that rage that was in me, I never spoke on it. I always acted on it, which is not always a good thing. But, you can't change your makeup. That's called seed. Now, and I was always into superheroes and just fit people, and, which where I grew up, you didn't see a lot of that. You had guys like Charles Atlas. I think you had Jack LaLanne. Wasn't my type of guy, but I loved that whole lifestyle of being disciplined and treating your body like a tool and a temple. So when I was trying to gain weight all through junior high to play football in high school, that was my quest, and that's what got me started with the whole thing, exercising that persona. He started to ease out even before I knew he was there, sort of a kindred spirit, and you hear me refer to that all the time, a kindred spirit. So like I say, as the years go, and I go through, you go through your junior high years. Now I'm determined to play football in high school, but I was also great in music and art. So I had several avenues where I could spread myself around, so to speak. But football was that first love, sitting on the couch as a kid, watching it in black and white on ABC. And so like I say, that fire started to kindle a little bit as you go. So it took me a couple of years to actually make the squad. And, all that veracity that the fans see on game day, well, I used to get to act that out on the field, because the game was called a little bit different than it is now. It was war, and I still refer to the game as war, even though we all know it's entertainment. But it's still the gladiator sport to me, and that's where I always go back to, the gladiators and how they were in the arena. We're the fans in the stands, whether we throw tomatoes or cherries or even 6 packs of beer. It's a gladiator sport. That's why they wear the equipment they wear.
All right, that's awesome. So, and I want to catch up on some of the comments. So, apologies here. First off, we got some other folks in the house that definitely are glad that you're here, Wayne. Don Webb and Mike Sarah, two of my regular viewers. Raider Squid, you might know him from the squid face from the what is it the other movies, that other Captain Jack, who, Johnny Depp doesn't do it as well as I do, but Raider Squid's in the house. Asylum is here as well, and For Life, Our Raider Story, which is the Pachecos, both Angela and Anna. And of course, Jimmy Farrell from Long Island. Travis Bono is here, SBA. Let's see here. I want to make sure. Oh, Vicky Orr, who definitely says that she's right down the street from you if you're broadcasting live. So if you're in your house, Vicky is actually right down the street and wants to say that she makes sure that you knew that she was here. G Mike is also in from Missouri. And over there on Facebook, quite a few people, way too many. Javier, Chris, Sarah, Johnny Laurel from New York, Maria Reyes from L.A. Millwall Isle is joining us from overseas in the U.K. Rick Madrigal, Jim Fulbright, who's up the street from me a little bit here in Florida, Leo Soroy, Alex Mendoza, Betanario, King Louis Zavala, Rick Saldana, Carmine Pucci's also in there from New York. Samuel Swazwan Watkins and Ronnie Gutierrez. And they're all saying hello to you and me. So again, I wanted to make sure that that you knew that we were all out here joining you, and we're all happy that you're here.
Well, listen, as you were doing roll call, I'm getting goosebumps, just like we're sitting out in the parking lot. Listen, all of those cats to me, and you know this to be true, I look at them as part of my family. Like I say, I call all of us kindred spirits. So the next fan base that comes along and has a question about it, send them my way. We are kindred spirits. We are bound by this shield, and whatever anybody thinks about us, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's how we treat each other.
And I love the fact that you had Jerry Robinson as your jersey choice. Jerry was just on the other night and was sitting here for 2.5 hours, just talking about a lot of stories about him being from UCLA, and then of course even pre-UCLA and with the Eagles. And I remember Jerry as an Eagle because I wasn't there when he was an Eagle, but I'm a transformed Philadelphia boy. So I definitely know some of him playing for the Eagles, actually Eagles, if you're saying it correctly, from Philly. And then, of course, his time as a Raider. So I love the fact that you have your Jerry jersey, and it's great segue with we had our interview with him just the other night. In fact, he was actually very, very vocal in the fact, oh, you're going to have Wayne on Sunday. I definitely need to make sure I check that out. So lots of love there I'm sure you guys have spoken in the past about the significance of your jersey.
We've spoken recently just about the significance of our friendship. Now, that's what I wanted to elaborate on. People see the game from many different angles, depending on where you're at, how you were brought up. Me having the pleasure and the honor of meeting some of these guys, actually holding conversations with them, whether I'm older than them or not, they're like my brothers, and they know I would go through a wall for them. That mutual love and respect can't be broken nowhere, no how. And like I say, it's almost like living a fan's dream for me, and I just always consider myself just as an ambassador. I'm the greeter at Walmart, but I'm the greeter when you come to Raider Nation. That's my job. And once I took on that mantle and discovered what the purpose of it was, and these guys as players saw it when I first started. Yes, I was raw. Yes, I was young. And yes, I was very much intense. So as I aged, you're talking over 29-year history, I have learned to channel some of that. And this is what when I speak to youngsters and grown-ups alike, I share that with them. It's about channeling that kindred spirit inside you that wants to just wreak havoc on game day. That's actually how I feel. That's why I dress and look the way I look. I feel like that all the time. But on Sunday, it's like I'm on a weekend furlough. You know what I mean? I got 48 hours or so to just go and change the world, and then I come back to normal. But it's an honor just to have been blessed to meet so many people. Most I haven't met, and I don't know how long my time between point A and point B is, but I'll be damned if I'm going to waste any moment of it. Like I said, once the lights all came on, I'm seeing this as a vision, far and wide, and it's been a long time coming, but the years have allowed me to appreciate that growth. And I'm talking physically, spiritually, and emotionally, because as a nation, a fan base, we've gone through a lot of stuff, and we're still there, loud and proud, thick and thin. We always represent.
And Wayne, if I can ask you, obviously for 29 years you started with the roots down in LA. So tell us about the Coliseum experience. Unfortunately, I never, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but by the circumstances, there really was no way for me to go to a game. Tell us about your experiences in the LA Coliseum to start out.
First of all, before I get into that, brother, don't be embarrassed. If I was embarrassed, I would be embarrassed to say that I was never able to travel to all of the away games like everybody thinks. I never had the privilege to do that because of taking care of things at home, so to speak. But, my faith gives me the belief that that day will come and it will be just as rewarding as what I've always imagined over the years. Now, back to the Coliseum. That was like when the Raiders pretty much fell in my lap because I was still in LA. Well, I've always lived in LA since I moved here in '77, but I never made that trip to Mecca, which is Oakland. Now, I used to see that stadium on TV as a kid, like mind you, black and white television, but it took nothing from that game and that shield. That's what made me fall in love with that team, that shield on the side of that helmet. So make no mistake, why you love them, it's that shield that attracted you,
Yep.
regardless of the players. And going back to the LA Coliseum, I'm walking there, my first game there. I bought my ticket, and I'm thinking, I'm actually going to see my team right here. So I'm standing at the Peristyle Inn watching them warm up and carry on. This is before I really knew anybody and was tailgating and all that. Wasn't even dressing there, just had my jersey and my cap on and my combat boots. I'm ready for battle. So as I go through my six-pack of Mickey's short boys, that was my pregame ritual back then. I would kill a six-pack of Mickey's before I went inside. And, whatever else came across, it is what it is. But I was ready for battle in my mind from the moment I got up that morning. And that hasn't changed in all these years. But the Coliseum was a special place. Even before I got to experience Mecca in person, that atmosphere in the parking lot was just something that I could even put in writing. It's just the memories and the people from all walks of life, from different neighborhoods, different sectors, meeting together, starting this ritual, which I was part of it. You get there before day in the morning to sit in line, wait for them to open lot 6. That's where I parked. So we sit there in a line and we sleep in our cars and whatever. And as soon as we heard that guy's keys, the security guy, we knew it was on. It's game day. It officially started. So going to Oakland, the party started the day before. So that was like a culture shock to me. And, but they welcomed me with open arms there. I didn't know anybody, but they had seen me over, the few years on television or whatever. So they welcomed me with open arms, and I'm just like, man, this is what I used to see, but now I'm in it, And like I say, it's been life-changing experiences, and anytime I get to share that, because anytime you come there, I call it still Mecca, anytime you would come there and leave, whether you were a Raider fan or a fan of another team, you had stories to tell.
Yeah, I was going to say being that I was on the East Coast, and just like you know, falling in love with the shield, the cross swords, the colors, you know, the pure anathema of what it was to be a Raider. You know, fell in love with them when I first saw them in '72, and again, as a Philly person, falling in love with a team that's not a Philadelphia team is definitely not the average norm out there. And then you know, moving from Philly down to Florida and not having a chance to go out there to any of the games. Now, granted, when I was in the military and I finally made it to California in the military, then I was like, hey, I'm here. In fact, I actually was in Oakland in '89 temporarily, and I just missed when they had that preseason game. I think when they were playing the Oilers, they had actually gone up to you know, the Raiders were coming up from LA to play the Oilers in '89, and I was temporarily assigned there, and I just missed it because I had to go back to my tour duty in the Philippines, and then I eventually made it down to San Diego. So the first couple games that I actually went to, my first Raider games were down there at, and I'm going to show my age here. It isn't Qualcomm. It was the Murph, Jack Murphy, watching the Raiders beat the Chargers on several occasions, and then you know, going overseas. It wasn't until I mean, and obviously being a Raider fan for as long as I've been, it wasn't until I got back stateside in the late '90s that I was able to go out to Oakland and see them. Like you said, that was the Mecca. And I wish I could have seen them in the Coliseum. It just didn't happen. But I tell you, if there was ever a time that I could kick myself in the butt for not just being able to, I wasn't able to, but I made sure that I go on the road, and you say you don't go to as many of the other stadiums. You know, we all miss you there, but like you said, Wayne, when I go to all of the games, whether they're in Oakland or on the road, like you, I try to be the ambassador to make people feel very welcome to going to the games, and it's because of people like you that we have the right spirit for it. And I'm not sure if you got a chance to see what we have on the screen right now, but the shot of you and Oaktown Pirate Azell, may he rest in peace. Gorilla there, Mark, and then also Pablo Tooze is in the picture with you in front of a Fuddruckers. I just love that, the fact that you know, all y'all representing, and again, may Azell rest in peace.
Yeah, just looking at that one, man, wow, like I said, the goosebumps rise up again, man. You talk about a band of brothers. Now, if and talking to any of these gentlemen here before, like I said, Pirate before his demise, you know, biggest heart in the world. Now, he and I are looking at ourselves as pirates just from the get-go, so we already knew what it was and what it meant to us, you know. So then I run into Tuzak, you know, and that's a real personal story that I wrote in my book that I just finished. Look for that in November. I'm doing a shameful plug, but I've got a book coming out in November, so be prepared, and I hope you guys just take a look at it. It's a lot of good stories in that. But
well, you know, I'm going to buy it. You know, I'm going to buy it, but I'm actually going to send it to you so you can autograph me one there, shipmate.
It's a pleasure, brother. Look, it's just about showing that love. And you hear me saying all the time, we just help share the love and help people enjoy the moment. But along with Tuzak, my buddy Gorilla, you know, world traveler, I call him all the time. We just have that. I don't even know how to put it in words to all of you that's listening, but it's just a feeling that you get. And like when I met you, Cap, we knew right away that we hit it off. Was no like, oh, let me feel this guy, I'll see what he's about. When you see me, what you see is what I am. And that's what you're going to get, because I ain't going to sugarcoat it, and I ain't going to BS you not one time. You know, I'm straightforward, and when I meet other guys that's straightforward, that's a band of brothers that you can go forward with and make a positive influence. Part of that mission of mine has also been to change that notion that all us Raider fans are deviants and lowlives. Now, I'm going to take that mission to the grave. I would never cease to do that and instill into our generation next that they are worth something. They are somebody and represent the team that you chose with pride.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm in that exposure as well, where we being Raider Nation has a bad rap because people associate the fans with the team from the 70s. And okay, and again, the 70s teams, they played to the whistle. They played hard, and they just got embroiled in a lot of controversy in such that the team kind of put that onto the fans, and a lot of the bad exposure that we've had, and we being Raider Nation, is actually due to other people provoking the Raider fans. And I always say this, and I'm sorry to denigrate the Niner faithful. I'm going to have to do this, though, because I'm going to call it right out. A lot of time, and I did get it correctly. I want to make sure I got it, the Niner faithful, because I was told that is their proper name, is that the issues that we've had in the stands when the Raiders played the Niners, and actually it's going to be unique that this year we're actually playing a preseason game against them, and we had stopped that due to the last time that we had a preseason game with them, there was gunplay in the parking lot. But what did the people say for the exposure on the news? What was it on the newspapers? It was Raider fan involved with gunplay. It wasn't a Raider fan that had the freaking gun. It was the Niner fan that drew on the Raider fan. And you get all of this stuff. And I know that Kathy Samwan, I hope I get that name right, was putting that against the Fans Against Violence way back, and bless her for doing that, is the fact that we're trying to make sure that the fan exposure between the fans of different teams get, hate the team. I mean, I don't like anybody in the AFC West. I'm going to put that hatred there, but I'm not going to hate on a fan because they have their like is somebody that, their team is somebody we don't like. Don't hate on the fan, hate on the team. And I appreciate you saying that it is your, number one duty to make sure that that we put out that stereotype that Raider Nation is all a bunch of people that get weekend passes from Chino and Lompoc, to go to the games just to fill out the stadium. And I say, man, some of us actually work for a living. I mean, I work for the government, and, I have to have a very, very squeaky clean existence to do the job that I do. There's several of us that do that. I mean, we're all regular citizens, and it was like I was actually watching the thing on YouTube about the Raider fans, and the guy was saying, I think it was Rich Eisen was saying that he was talking to a Raider fan. He had his mask on, and he says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" He says, "I'm a second grade teacher." Well, there you go. We're regular people. We're regular people, and you are obviously a regular. Wayne, what did you do? Obviously, what did you do as a civilian to get a chance to be there? Now, I'm going to ask that because I remember seeing you in a hard hat and a what is it, like an orange vest when they were doing, and I still have the calendar, by the way, of the transition from Raider fans civilian to Raider fans in their persona. What did you do for all of these years?
Captain, I'm a retired 37-year union carpenter. So that's what I did to make my money to go to the games and keep my mortgage and my bills paid. But just that whole lifestyle, like you were talking earlier, I'm going to go back on what you were talking about earlier. That love of ours, we're looked at because of, first of all, the team colors are black and silver. That says glamour nowhere, which fits us to a T, because we ain't about glamour. It's a certain attitude. We're blue collar. We pretty much call ourselves a blue collar team, a blue collar fan base, and it's that pride in that we work for what we what we want. We're not going and stealing it and taking it. So that's what really vexes me when I hear, whether it's media or other fan bases. And you heard me tell you, always invite them to come and break bread with us before you really make a decision on who you think we are. And I think that will change you. One or two tailgates, you will find out. You know, every fan base has some bad apples, a la the San Francisco incident. And by the way, I had an incident happen to me and my wife when we went there, the last game that we attended there, and it wasn't the fans, it was the security.
Just like
So
San Diego. Oh man, I'll tell you about San Diego.
Yeah, well, all that's in the book, brother, and as much as I could really put in writing. But the thing is, take pride in that. The late great Al had a vision. We are a part of Al's vision. That stadium in Las Vegas was Al's dream. All of this stuff is becoming reality in my lifetime, which is like, I can't even describe how stoked I am about it. And, you know, we took pride in the old relic at Mecca. You know, it was long overdue for an uplift, but nobody wanted to put money into it. Yes, it's a 50-year-old stadium. You know, LA Coliseum, same type scenario. Nobody wanted to put money into improving it. So the business side of this, and I'm speaking to the fans now, the business side of this is, unless they find some way to improve their business status, they'll go out of business. And that's not the nature of the NFL. Granted, that's the best game going right now, and we're all trying to move forward in spite of COVID, which is like a reality check. It is definitely a reality check. But above all, before the game is even played, the fan safety and our family safety should be number one.
Amen to that. Like I said, your family you go home with, and we're actually I do have some questions about you and your true blood family. I know we're all blood to you, but the blood. We'll get to those later on as well. I do have a question, and I'm going to ask it as well. Danny Zavala Jr., who's otherwise known as the General, and I told Danny that he definitely needs to pay some homage to the General. May he rest in peace as well, Raider Ron.
Yes.
In his, because the General is here, and so definitely pay some homage to Raider Ron. Love Ron, miss Ron, Mrs. L just as well. But Danny asked me to ask you. He said, "What is your opinion of the term superfan?" I have mine. I want to hear what you have to say as well.
Okay. I don't know if this is my first time putting it out there, but here it is. I personally don't like the phrase. There's nothing super about me. This is my interpretation of it. There's nothing super about me. Now, my spirit may feel super, but I look at every fan, we're on the same freaking level. And I know Danny from years back, and he knows how the General was. It's like I say, when you say we're all a family, there is no hierarchy in it. It shouldn't be. And this is just me speaking again. I'm just a fan. I'm a diehard. You can call me diehard till the day I cross my arms and speak no more. But super fan, that, how can I say it, Captain? That's not a term that you would hear me speak of.
Yeah.
Because we're all fans.
Yeah.
We're all super, whether we dress or dress normal. Whether we wear costumes, let me correct that. Whether we wear costumes or we dress normal, we are the super fan, to me. So let me get that straight. I wanted to say that today and put it on record. I hate that super fan moniker.
Yeah. Actually, you and I share that same opinion, and people who know me personally, other than when I go out there, I said I answer to the term because I know it's a blanket term and it's a term that everybody understands. I said, but personally, I hate it because it sounds very egotistical in the fact that if you are somebody that dresses out and you're known as a super fan, there's nothing more of me than somebody else that's been following this team. And I've been following this team for 50 years, or I rounded up a little bit, for 50 years, but there are fans of the Raiders that have been following it from its inception. They know everything about the organization as well. They've followed from, Kezar Stadium and Ewell Stadium down to, the new, quote unquote, the new stadium, which was Oakland, down to LA, back to Oakland, and now going on to Las Vegas. They are true diehard fans as well. The only thing that makes us different, and I like this term, is that I call myself an easily recognizable fan, an ERF. Unfortunately, it doesn't roll off the tongue as quickly as super fans. But again, I'm like you. I said I'm out there. I'm an advocate for fandom amongst all of the people, especially Raider Nation. But I can't stand the term super fan. And people that know me know that I've said that same speech. So you and I both agree on that term. Although we answer to it because it's easy to answer to, I don't espouse the term super fan for sure.
It's definitely easier to respond to it than try to explain your feelings of it and possibly put somebody in shock. Like, what the hell are you talking about? That's the way. That's a title that's been enveloped over us. But me personally, I'm no super than the guy who is at his first game ever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's called humility, and that's what I preach. I hate to use the word preach, but that's what I share constantly is whatever you're rising along your journey, remain humble. That's where you're going to get the most knowledge and usage out of that energy that you have. And all of us have that same energy, but it's different from one guy to the next. But collectively, it's like nuclear. And you've heard me speak of nuclear energy. That's what we're like. And that's why the other 31 teams fan base, whether they respect us or not, they know it's real.
Got it. Hey, Mike Sarah wants me to ask you as well if you've ever had bad experience with fans from opposition, because people who go to my broadcast here know that I had a very painful and nasty, just downright nasty experience last year in New York when we played the Jets. I mean, they gave it to us on the field, and boy, they were pent up because they were an awful team, and then they went out and whooped our ass, and they had that going for them, so they got that gloat. And I just had an awful experience with fans, and I said that was the most memorable experience of recent things. But they wanted to, Mike wanted to know if you've had any bad experiences with the opposition personally, and you said something about you and your wife with in San Francisco. But is there anything else that you can speak of?
Actually, as far as bad experiences, fan base, no. And I don't know whether it's just the way I carry myself. Now, I've had guys come up and talk, guys and gals come up and talk. I've been spit on and all that stuff. But as far as actually hands-on, like crossing the line, that is the line. When you touching another guy with malice, that is the unspoken rule. You do not cross that line. Fandom is meant to go together. But anyway, to answer Mike's question, no. My worst experiences has been with law enforcement.
Oh, okay. And I bet you, I know that I've had some bad times down in San Diego. In fact, I know I'm brain farting her name. Oh my goodness. She's a photographer that used to dress up as well, but when she got the photographer gig, Blitz chick. There you go. Yeah. Blitz chick. Yeah. And she tells me about the worst experiences she had was with the cops down in San Diego. And I know that when you're dressed, okay, that you are a mark. I tell people that that's one of the reasons why I don't drink when I go out to the games, because you're already a mark. You're an easy mark to go by. So if you have alcohol on you, the cops are generally, they're not going to ask any questions at all. They're going to smell the alcohol and they're going to immediately do things that are stupid if they think that you're in the wrong. So I said the best thing you can do whenever you go to any game is not to get totally blitzed out of your mind, to play on word for blitz chick, but to get in total inebriation, because you're going to be found in the wrong. Period. Whether you were right, wrong, or indifferent, they're just going to take it from the alcohol that that's an experience. So I know that I've had some issues down in San Diego. My family was from San Diego. I mean, San Diego's a fantastic city aside from the Chargers. Bum. And so I always said that if I ever won the lottery and I can afford to definitely afford to get a house in California, I would buy one in and around San Diego because it's so beautiful. But you said that you had some experiences, and I don't want to peg you, especially if this is going to be in your book, unless you're going to give us a little bit of those excerpts here. What was maybe that experience that you might have had with the law enforcement that you were alluding to earlier?
Well, the incident occurred, and actually it was the first date with my present wife. It was our first date, and I was taking her to that Raider Charger game, homecoming, Oakland South, as we used to call it. And so we had played the Chargers a few weeks previous in Oakland. And I'd run into a couple of photographers who had, taken the nice photos and this and that, but you never know what their motives are or what these photos are even used for. So hence the day that game, we get down there, and the only reason I found out was because Charger fans who were local were bringing the papers to us saying, look, you're on the front page as the leader of the horde. And so I took offense to that immediately. But, being as, diplomatic as possible, we kind of played it off. We took pictures with these fans. They're holding the paper up with me with a mugshot, basically, And so I thought nothing of it. I'm trying to impress my girlfriend at the time, to see if she was a keeper for this lifestyle that I was wanting to live. And so we have our festivities in the parking lot. We get to the gate to go in, and lo and behold, there's a security officer on the top of the gate with an M16 or whatever, assault rifle. I get slammed over against the wall, spread eagle. All these Raider fans are like, what the hell did you do? I didn't do anything. They just come over here. So they pretty much searched me except for full body cavity. I had to take off certain items just before they would let me go in. That to me was humiliation in front of my fellow fans. And as they got louder and started, voicing their opinion about it, the guy was saying, look, you don't shut up, nobody goes in. We're going to do this to this guy. So basically I was pegged as a villain, and I'm just like, wow. And I made that decision right there against the wall. I'm like, they're probably not going to shoot me, but they're trying to humiliate me. So my girlfriend is standing there in shock, like, do you go through this? Excuse my French. Do you go through this shit every game? And I don't want to say yes, because that's the only place it had happened at that point. And so I said, you know what? Take whatever off me that you feel is dangerous. Now they're looking at my boots saying, oh, that could injure somebody too. Now, I'm in my 40s at that time, my mid-40s. Am I going to drop kick a 10-pound boot and hurt? Come on, this is like ridiculous. But I'm like, look, I'm not taking my paint off, I'm not taking my pads off, and I'm not taking off my boots. So they took everything else off me other than my ID and sent me on. I said, I'll see you after the game, after we win it. Now, that's just me speaking as a fan. I'm like, I'm pissed, so I'm just saying, after we kick your ass, I'll see you when I come pick my stuff up. And that's basically what happened. But that started the whole thing that one photographer put a blow-up picture in the newspaper. Here's the guy. And they were waiting on me hand and foot, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's just stupid. Because I know that the last time we had well, not the last time we had a Raider fan convention down in San Diego, you and Grillo were actually up early to go on KUSI. I even know the stations. I used to live down in San Diego. You went on KUSI early in the morning to say, hey, all Raider fans in the area, come on out to a Raider fan convention. And actually, San Diego has the largest Raider fan club, if not clubs, of all of the areas of concern. And, again, this is right in the belly of the beast, man. This is in Charger Central. And you know it, and I know it, that when you went to that Charger game down in San Diego, as well as I was there last year in LA, 99% of the stadium was dressed in silver and black with nary a powder blue or even just a regular hot blue to be seen in the stands. And, that's the way it's going to be. A Charger game in LA, a Charger game in San Diego was that extra home game. Actually, it equated to that. That was the extra game that we got back when we got screwed for playing overseas all the time. So we still had 8 home games, but we would have had 9 if they wouldn't have messed with our schedule for that. That's for sure.
Absolutely, brother. I was just laughing as you were describing that whole incident. The whole deal is, and this is to all the Raider fans listening who may not be aware of this little nugget here. The Charger fans, as soon as that game came out on the schedule, their attitude was, we're going to pay for half of our season tickets off of this one game. They know even from the first row to the last row, we will pay whatever it is to show support for our team. And I had the pleasure of talking to the mayor of San Diego, and this is what he told me, that when we're coming down the 5 and the 15 freeway, it looks like an evil horde coming into the city. So they're watching us over helicopters. Let me just share this. This was told to me in my face at the week of the Super Bowl down there. So this guy says, listen, you guys, we look at you as the evil horde coming in to just tear up our fair city. All we want to do is come to the game, drink some beer, have some burgers, hug and fellowship with each other, and go to hell home because we got to work the next day. So it was just, and that's why if I can just instill in your listeners, Jack, to just embrace that pride once again. People say pride is a bad thing, but just embrace who we are as a fan base. We all have that same love for that team. That team is looked at like the red-headed stepchild of the NFL. That also I wear as a badge of honor. I don't have to be popular, but I'm going to spread some good in spite of how you look at me. That's my credo from day to day. But anyway, this whole deal with security down there, they just hated the fact that we took over the stadium. Anyway, back to the deal. The San Diego fan base would sell us their tickets. This got so bad over the years that the owner of the San Diego Chargers said this was enough, so that they come up with this 3-game package.
Yeah, that you had to buy extra 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, to try to weed us out. That didn't work. We found ways to work around it. And once I got told from a season ticket holder what the deal was, they refused to bring their family to the stadium that day. So that's why it looked like it looked. Well, if you're going to give us an open seat, don't you think we're going to take it? Hell yeah. So the last game there ever played in Qualcomm, it was probably 70-30%.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah.
I watched the team comes out, they're getting introduced, they can't even hear themselves because we drowning out everything that powder blue wanted to put on that PA system. We drowned it out. So thank you, nation, for making Spanos see it for what it was. That was part of them moving, I think.
Oh yeah, and in fact is that I remember I wasn't able to go to the last game down at what Qualcomm. To me, it's the Murph. I actually lived literally right up the hill from Jack Murphy. So the one time that I got a chance to go to the game, I literally walking down the hill into the stadium, and it was wonderful knowing that no matter what, you just felt so awesome in that respect that you are taking over a stadium. 70-30 on that one. Philip Rivers and a bunch of other people were on like the local sports saying how they couldn't hear. Nobody could do the audibles, and it was also last year like that last year in Los Angeles, the same thing. Rivers couldn't hear, and they showed the Sports Center highlights with he's like, I can't hear, because there were too many Raider fans that were just making so much noise, and I think it's going to get nothing but worse, and that's one of the reasons why that Kroenke, the owner of the Rams, did not want to go in with the Raiders down in L.A. Now, granted, his greed and hatred of having his stadium being taken over by Raider fans, at least during a Rams game, okay, we'll take a brand new stadium in Las Vegas because of it. And I can almost guarantee you that the Chargers will be a flop in LA, and eventually when Spanos can find a buyer that will pay to get the Chargers out of that stadium, they're going to go back down to San Diego because it's a great place to have a team. They're going to have a new stadium down in San Diego eventually, and you're gonna figure out that Spanos is just going to continue to hemorrhage money in a stadium where he's the tenant with Stan Kroenke, and he's just not going to make any money. Eventually, the Chargers will move down to San Diego or will move out to somebody else that needs a team. You can mark my words on that one. That's just my opinion, but I think it's going to happen.
I can see that, Captain. The same scenario. They're like renters in the SoFi Stadium. But let me put this out there. If they give us a chance, we will turn that silver and black also.
Oh, yeah.
Twice a year or whenever the schedules, permit us to play each other. But we know the Chargers, they know we're coming that one time, and we'll black it out if they give us the opportunity.
That's for sure. And I'm not sure if you get a chance to see the screen, but I like these two pictures, which I grabbed. First of all, you and John next to each other. You gotta love our new coach. And so I definitely had to put that one up there. And then the other one, I believe this is for an event that I call her JP because I know her pre-marriage, Janice, who you in the other picture.
Yeah.
To me, it's JP for her initials. But I think this was an event that she and her husband were doing with the Kids for Cancer. And we get a chance to see Violator. Oh, my goodness, Violator without his stripes on. So, which leads me to one of the next questions, and I'm sure you get it a lot, is how many people who know you for you will walk right by you when you're not wearing any of your makeup?
Awesome question, Captain. In the beginning, quite a few. But after the calendar came out, all bets were off. And Gorilla and I had this conversation to this day. I'm like, brother, once that calendar came out, that exposed us, because they wanted to see both sides of us.
Right.
And but I looked at it as a blessing in disguise. Now I'm looking at Elijah right here. Now that's one of my heroes. Now, to me, those are my heroes. Guys who fight debilitating diseases on a daily basis, and I'm talking kids here. So that's what got me involved with Janet and Smiley as far as their foundation. There's no better feeling than to, like I'm hugging this guy. I got him in a freaking headlock, but that's my guy.
That's right, yeah.
When I met him, I met him, he was a young guy, and we just grown to just love each other over the years because he knows I'm there for him. Even when I'm not there, I'm there in spirit. You know, now me and Coach, that goes back to when he came to light the torch in Oakland. And I caught him coming off of his bus. Now I'm standing around the RV because that's my dream vehicle. I want to do what John Madden did, but I want to drive it myself. So I asked Coach right there, and that's why he's laughing. You see, I'm looking serious. I'm like, when are you coming back? What's it going to take to get you back? Not even knowing that they were already in negotiation at that particular time. You know, so he laughed it off. Tuzek's on the other side of him in that particular photo. And I just asked him point blank, when are you coming back to pull this team out of the abyss? And he kind of laughed it off. But look, we're looking at it. It was already in the works. Certain things in life are predestined.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of stuff that we go through is predestined. And we can't really explain it. We know why it's happening. And I'm not going to go real spiritual with everybody, but we know why certain things happen to us. But it's for a bigger picture, like you just described. Yeah, now we got the baddest stadium in the league going up in the Silver State. So be it. But the powers that be, you know, the movers and shakers of the NFL didn't want us in California. They made that perfectly clear. They didn't want us to share that stadium in Inglewood. They didn't want the Chargers and us to share that stadium in Carson because they're trying to pull their own fans. You know, when they left and went to St. Louis. Raider fans, all our fan base did was got thicker and thicker and thicker. I personally know 5 or 6 generations of Raider fans. And it's just an honor to me, man, just to know that from the youngest to the oldest, when they say I'm a Raider fan, and this is what I put out there all the time, there is no in between. You're either all in or walk the fucking plank.
There you go. Yeah, well said on that one. Actually, I actually have a somewhat similar story with Gruden. And before John, his last season with the Monday Night Crew, he actually spoke at US CENTCOM where I work. And, you know, when I knew that he was coming, oh boy, I pretty much told everybody and their grandmother, I said, you better make sure that I have a ticket to get in there because hell hath no fury like the captain being excluded. And I will say this, that as a contractor, I was not high on the priority list because obviously, you know, the military folks have, and good right, you know, the military that's there had first opportunity to get in to see Coach give that speech. And then, you know, the civilian contractors that are military personnel or govies, shall we say. And then, you know, contractors were not allowed. And, I tell you, I quietly raised some holy hell. And lo and behold, 2 people that knew me and knew who I am and why I'm a Raider fan and all that, I was given 2 tickets to go there. And so I actually grabbed another contractor who's a Raider fan, and both her and I went there because these people knew that I would not be a happy effing camper if I was not at that Gruden meeting. And actually, I got a chance to ask John because it was all the way in there that people had asked him, you know, hey, when are you coming back to coaching? You know, obviously this is CENTCOM's in Tampa, so it's a very heavily Tampa Bay oriented crowd there. But I was wearing my Raider colors, and so John knew he didn't know who I was, but he knew that I am a rabid Raider fan. And we could all tell by the way he was speaking that he was coming back. He was coming back to coaching. And lo and behold, you know, very later that year, obviously, we were talking about it in L.A., you know, Jack Del Rio gets shook hand on the field by Mark, knowing that Gruden's contract was already in place. So it wasn't really it was a secret, but there was some evaporation of that secret out to the people. I can tell by the way Gruden was talking that he was coming back, and I'm just glad that we ponied up the money. And the thing is that they said, and this is obviously for folks that are here in the Tampa area, is that the Glazers penny pinched, and they didn't want to put out the coin to get John back. And Mark basically gave him carte blanche on that. And I'm very happy that we have Coach Gruden back with us. That's for sure.
Excuse me, Captain. To me, Coach Gruden and us is a match made in heaven. Now, I reminded Coach that, listen, we watched you grow up. We kind of grew, I teach it. We kind of grew up together. Now, he was raw, but that passion was, undeniable. And same with us. We were all young and raw, but he knew we were for real. And if you ever want somebody to walk down a dark alley, then you got your soldiers to do that. And that's the feeling I always have with him, to the end of time. He's just a Raider at heart. It's just that he had to go somewhere else because of front office differences and come back. So with him, if you would ask him, I guarantee he would say it's a different level of appreciation right now. And when he saw the way we embraced him upon that announcement, that blew his mind. Even when we walked up on him in this particular shot, he told us people, they were looking at us like, Coach, you're gonna take a picture with these guys? And he tells them, those are my guys. Just like that. That's what he told his crew that was around. Those are my guys. And they're just looking at us like, what the hell? It's game day morning. We see him come out of this bus, and it's like, you know what? I'm standing right here until I make eye contact with him, and he walked right to us. That's love. That's passion for that silver and black that you can't buy. Now there are contracts in place. I don't have one. None of us have one. But he already knew that this stuff was already a given. That's why he was there. Aside from his, broadcasting duty. When he lit the torch, that was already a sign right there.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to let you know that, and I thank him for coming in. Jerry Robinson has joined us on Facebook, and I gotta again give the information. First, folks, if you're enjoying listening to Violator here on this program, giving his interview, please make sure you go back onto my YouTube and look at the Jerry Robinson interview that we did on Friday night. It'd be May 22nd interview with Raider great Jerry Robinson. Again, I want to thank you, Jerry. Jerry, I hope that those links finally worked out. I was having trouble sending him links to his phone. They worked on Facebook because they were straight from YouTube, but unfortunately, and apologies there, Jerry, and I want to again thank you. Actually, Jerry, I found out the reason why Violator wears 57, and there's no better player in my mind to evoke the fact that all of these players, and I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I do not buy new jerseys anymore because the way things are nowadays, you will like a player and they will be gone. Now, I will say this, I do have several 52s in my closet, but I won't wear a 52 until that person retires from the NFL, because then it will be a throwback jersey. I'm not going to wear a 52 to any Raider function when I'm not dressed as Captain Jack. I'll just keep them back as an old throwback jersey. And it's funny because I kept my Woodson from way back when, and then when I brought it back out, I had a Reebok Woodson, not a Nike Woodson. So I actually had the real deal from way back when. So I actually had his throwback even when he was playing with us. So I agree with you there, man. Go out and buy the jerseys of the Raiders of old. The Raiders that inspired John Facenda, the voice of God, to put out the poem The Autumn Wind, actually written by the Sables. But you can't beat John Facenda saying the autumn wind. Oh wait, I want to do the real effect here. Stand by a second there. The autumn wind is a Raider. And I hope you heard I got the effects on, the voice of God effect. And so anytime I get a chance to sound like the voice of God. I put that FX. I love this board that I get a chance to do that. So again, thank you for being here as well. Now, I want to go back one other thing. Now, you said you moved to L.A. I think you said 77, Wayne?
1977, July 4th, I arrived in LA from Mississippi. And like I said, I've been following the Raiders. I couldn't see every game. Like I said, I had a neighbor who had an antenna that could reach the frequencies where I could see them. And the particular game that caught my eye was the game that they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs when this whole fight breaks out. And I'm just like, you know what? That's what Pirates do. And I fell in love right there. And like I said, been going strong ever since, brother.
Now, are you talking about the fight with 80 not Hendricks? Oh God, there you go. Thank you. There you go. That's what I was thinking. And it's like, forgive me for not getting Ben Davidson's. I'm looking at the picture too. I got the picture of him decapitating or nearly decapitating Bob Greasy in the house here. But it's hard when kick him so well as 83 and you're trying to get Ben Davidson out, but you can't do it. I apologize, Ben. May he rest in peace as well. But so you saw that fight, which inspired the rule of a personal foul negating everything else, because of that rule, there was actually 2 penalties on play, and I'm going back in history for all you Raider fans that don't know about these things. Because of the melee that ensued in Kansas City, there was offsetting penalties on the play, which actually gave the Raiders the right to go down and win the game. Whereas if you would have had the rules nowadays, because there was a personal foul on Ben Davidson going over and spiking Len Dawson, that would have been the paramount rule, and things could have been very, very different. So there's so many different rules. I call them Raider rules. The Raiders have inspired more rules in the NFL than any other team for sure, and that's funny about that. Hey, one other thing as well, since we went there. So you were a Raider fan prior to going to LA, you said.
Absolutely. But you know what? Because that wasn't a popular team in my area, I kept it to myself. Like I said, I was an introvert, so I didn't talk about much of my emotional feelings at that time anyway. But I had a vision of escaping where I was from, because I call it Alcatraz, and that's another story in the book. So like I say, my dream was to get to California, where these palm trees and those sandy beaches were, and that team with that shield on the side of the head.
Yeah, I definitely can see you there as well. Being a Raider fan in Philly as a kid, that's hard too. So, but let me ask you, like I said, you went there. Now, obviously, Raiders in your blood. Was there any? Is there any college teams or other sports teams that you actually followed as a kid, or is it basically been all Raiders all the time?
It's been all Raiders, and it was USC playing in the Rose Bowl. That's what got the radar with California when I started seeing that back in the days, before OJ even. I used to watch the Trojans, and I'm like, these guys, and they also had that Trojan on the helmet, so those were warriors in my eyesight. I'm like, man, these guys are so dominant. So when I met the late great Al, and he always spoke of domination, I knew right away what he's talking about. That you can't put that on paper. That's a mindset. And he always drafted players who had that domination mentality. That's the Raiders of the 70s and the early 80s. But, and we're looking for that new team of ours going forward, the millennial team. We're looking for that, even though it's not as prevalent and they can't even expose it with the rules of the game today. But there's still that kindred spirit that's out there. And I'm excited as hell to see these young draftees that we drafted this past year under accentuating circumstances. But look, once they put that black jersey on, get to sign their numbers, it's game time.
That's true. Now, actually, then, Wayne, this is about the best segue I can do it. You did it for me. Is what are your feelings towards? I mean, uh, obviously it hurts. It hurts having the team go out there, but you said economically and other reasons why. There is a reason why the Raiders are going to Las Vegas because again they have a state of the art, not just stadium, but the best stadium in the NFL. I remember when they would call Jerry's World down, and I remember going to the first Thanksgiving game where the Raiders got a chance to play the Cowboys, and I brought my buddy with me who's a big Cowboys fan, and he had never been to an NFL stadium. Actually, he had never been to an NFL game before, and we're going into the stadium, and I had that experience, and he asked me, he says, "Hey Jay, are all stadiums like this?" I said, "Mark, no, dude. This is the Taj Mahal right here," and it was. You have the growth of the brand new stadiums from you got from the Astrodome way back when to the to the Superdome in Nolans being what it is. And then you have, maybe a couple other nickel dime state. I call them nickel dime because they just the name didn't go out. And then you have Jerry World, okay, which to that point was the premier stadium. You go to the new stadium, and I've been to the new stadium up in Minnesota last year. What a fantastic stadium that really is. And again, those are the same people that built what they were calling the Death Star, what detractors call the Roomba. Screw you for calling it the Roomba. It's the Death Star. And we have the state-of-the-art stadium. We have the state-of-the-art facilities, and we're actually finally able, after 50, no, let me get it right, 60s, after 70 years of Raiders football, if I think I'm doing the math correctly, we finally, for the very first time, we're not stuck, at a stadium that's in a park, where Ewell Field was. We're not stuck at Candlestick Park with the dregs of having to play as an also-ran, Kezar Stadium, and then what at the time was a brand new stadium in Oakland. This is the stadium that is above all else the best, and we got there. So it's going to be very, very awesome to get that out. But again, a roundaway point. I apologize. I went off on a tangent here. What's your thoughts towards this team? I mean, listen, I didn't know if you had a chance to listen to Ken Thompson call in the other night, but I tell you, man, if you had any negativity towards what this team should do this year, listen to that interview, man. I mean, it'll make you go out and buy your own set of pads and just go out and run through walls, just like you're playing for Gruden itself. Your thoughts on the new team, or I should say, the transplanted team coming into Las Vegas this year, Wayne?
Well, Captain, my emotions are all over the place, but I have come to a realization that this is happening. Now, we have one or two choices: participate or not. You want to be in the movie or you want to watch the movie. So those are the two choices basically that we have as fans. And our loyalty will be tested, but like I say, there are good times to be had there because we're the best show in town with the best fan base in town, having the best stadium, and it's going to be a grand opening like none other. I had the pleasure of going to Dallas Stadium that first year and met the architect who actually designed the stadium. When he found out I was a construction guy, I got all the backstage stories, all the little nooks and crannies about Jerry's World, and which like you said, Taj Mahal, but as I'm walking through it, I'm like, this is like a nightclub with a field in the middle. That was my impression of that stadium. And whether SoFi will outdo it, I doubt it seriously. You can have your malls like, I'm hearing of retail stores and movie theaters. All that's big business based on, look, bring the whole family, we'll keep them entertained while dad and grandpa goes and enjoy the game. Same deal in Vegas. Vegas is a destination spot. We will see more jerseys from more opposing teams than we ever saw before. But like I say, that spirit of the nation will not be denied.
I got you, Wayne. And I tell you, Because of the current situation as it is, it pains me to say that until I know I'm going to be able to go out and be as personable as I am. I am hug a brother, kiss a lady type of guy when I'm dressed up as
Mm-hmm.
Captain Jack. And for me not being able to do that upcoming is very disconcerting to say the least. So unfortunately, I will play on the sidelines until I see what's going on. I'm not going to be able to go out there as well. But I tell you this, Wayne, and I mean it. If there's any game that you want to go to, and I'm sure that they're going to hook you up, brother. I mean, I go beyond a shadow of a doubt that they will fall over backwards in order to make sure that you get accommodations. But if there's ever a game that you want to go to that I definitely am not going to, I might not have the seats that you have, mid 50-yard line right where the tunnel is, but I got down lower bowl. I think a sixth row, and I'm right next to one of the tunnels that come out. You and your missus, or you plus one, whoever you vouch to be there, are easily can sit in my seats for sure. And I give you this promise right here in front of everybody. That's for sure.
Brother, I appreciate that. That felt like from the heart to me right there. So we'll always be in touch, and like I said, I just appreciate the offer. There's nothing more warming than that. See, that's that whole family mentality that we always tout out about. It's in your action where it gives it what's the word? Gives it fluidity. When you see it done, you can say it, but when it's done, there's no other words need to be spoken. But like I say, I appreciate the offer, brother, and I'm leaning on my faith of stumping the yard for all these years that something will happen if the man upstairs meets. And if not, and I'm looking at both sides of the coin. If not, life still goes on, and I'm still true blue, silver, and black wherever I am. Whether I'm sitting here in my house watching it on the tube, or traveling in my RV watching it at a rest stop or an RV park somewhere.
And actually, that's another man. I love you're giving me my great segues here. Granted, they're not quite in order, but hey, I'm going to take them when I can. What does the near future have for you? Because I know you're busy, and I'm going to get into your charitable causes in a minute. But I want to talk to you because you broached the subject as getting to that retirement phase. And boy, I can't wait till I'm there with you, brother. I cannot wait until I'm there with you. What does the next year, two, or a little bit down the road offer for Violator? Now, I know that you are going to make appearances at Raider events. I mean, or I shouldn't overstep my bounds and assume that, but I'm pretty sure, knowing the way that I know you, you'll make events as you deem either availability or possibility, because you're always going to be here with us. What does the next year or two have for Wayne Mabry Violator itself?
Thanks for that segue, Captain. Listen, my short term and long term goals are thus. Short term is to gain more exposure for my clothing line, my cigars, and obtain that RV that I've been dreaming about for 30 plus years. Secondly, I've never turned my back on the nation. So any opportunity to come out there and, like I say, meet and greet, hug and kiss, that's where I intend to spend most of my energy, along with more charitable organizations and reaching more youth. That's my focus right now at this point in my life, is the youngsters, Generation Next. Somebody, whether I'm called OG or whatever, is just to share some of that wisdom that I've been shared with over the years with them, and give them like a flip side of the coin to kind of navigate through this world, so to speak. We're in some troubling times, but I say we are resilient, and I put it on all of the Raider Nation to stay vigilant through this crisis that we're dealing with. We will come out on the other side. but let's not put our own safety and our family's safety in jeopardy for the game, because at the end of the day, we're not ranked up there with the players that they pay. Passion is why we're there. We don't get rebates when things go south. That's just the way it is. And they always ask me, well, aren't you entertained? Sometimes I'm not, but my loyalty keeps me true to what I'm representing. And so, like I say, long and short term, Jack, those are my dreams and goals, and only the man upstairs can see all of that come into fruition if it's his will. And that's the way I'm going to keep stomping the yard.
That's for sure. I mean, I know whether you are there, you're always there in spirit. In fact, what they need to do is whether you're sitting in your RV or you're sitting on your couch, they need to have the camera pan to you, with a clip of you, and I don't know, knowing you would get dressed up on your couch to make sure that people would see you on your couch. But I mean, affording you the opportunity to, because I love your bolo. I've seen you in your bolo, and I love the bolo because you were wearing it with the suit that one time. I said, man, that is just kick ass, pure style. But you and your bolo with the cigar, sitting, I can just picture it, a big comfy couch with you on it, and you can see your remote and you're clicking through the different things, like, come on, man, let's get to the game. And then you have a spot where they give you they pan to you and they show a picture of you in the new stadium. Actually, Watts Raider put this comment in, and I like this as well, is the fact that they named our stadium the Death Star. Well, the Death Star did explode, if people remember right. But maybe we can call it Death Star 2. And or Death Star 3, because the Death Star 2 even exploded. We'll call this one Death Star 3 because this one was made perfectly, so it won't explode. There won't be little munchkin creatures from the that speak gibberish and hail Chewie as their leader. This is the one that's going to be the Death Star that actually is made perfect, or the black hole as well. But again, panning to you, sitting on your couch. You got your cigar. You got your. Now I got to ask: would it be Hennessy, Remy Martin? I know I can just picture you with a cognac. Am I off base there?
You're red hot, brother. Look, I was going to say all of the above in no particular order.
Yeah. Now I'll the next time I go down to DR, I know I gotta get some cigars for Lincoln. And I know I'm going to get some cigars for you. But down in Dominican Republic, they have what they call Hennessy White, which is, I don't know if it's made its way to the United States very well. But you talk about some Hennessy that's just pop, man. This is wonderful thing. So if you can't have your Cavassier, if you can't have your VSOP, if you can't have your Remy Martin, obviously with Hennessy, I can just picture you with the brandy snifter. Now, to me, I'm a Grand Marnier guy. When the Grand Marnier is heated up and you can just smell, the orange that's coming out of it. And people ask me if they say, hey, Jack, you want a drink? I said, do you really want me to answer that? And because I give them an opportunity, because Grand Marnier costs some money. So if they say, yeah, I'm going to buy you one, I say, okay, you're going to get me a Grand Marnier, shipmate. And I appreciate that. So next time I see you, we'll have the cognac together, and I know you're a cigar guy. Unfortunately, I will buy your cigar and I will display it proudly amongst my Raider room that I have a cigar from the Violator, Wayne Mabry. But it will be in my room. But I don't indulge, man. I got enough health problems as it is. I don't want to have lung disease on top of everything else. But that's okay.
Right. Well, like I say, brother, it was just a blessing for me. There was a manufacturer who always saw me post up smoking cigars, on my patio. And he said, he gave me this offer. He says, look, a guy of your stature needs his own cigar. And I'm thinking, I don't know this guy from Adam. And so I kind of blew him off for a couple of weeks. He kept coming back, touching base with me. And so the spirit just says, you know what? Just answer him and see what he's really talking about. So when he gave me all the specifics, And like I say, I grew up dirt poor, so I see an opportunity when it comes and squares itself in front of me. And I couldn't say no. And like I say, it's going on 2 years now. Things are going great, man. And like I say, everybody has their different opinions about that. But all of that is enjoying a cigar like you would a Krispy Kreme donut.
Oh yeah.
You pick your fancy.
Yeah, pick your poison, more like it. But that's for sure. That's right.
But life is living.
Oh yeah.
We could just exist and stay between two lines that we think are safe, or we can just live out our days like real people do. You know.
Oh yeah.
I got that from Braveheart. That just pricked my heart when he said that. Every man dies, but not every man lives.
That's true.
And so that's the credo I live by, brother. You know, I have very few vices: Raiders, cigars, whiskey, cognac, whatever. That's about it. I can make myself perfectly happy with those three elements right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, but you have to grow to that point in life, brother. I wasn't always that way. But like I say, I'm very appreciative of my journey so far. I don't see it being at the end, but when that time comes, I can bow gracefully and pass the mantle on.
Well, I say this as well, and I actually somewhat kidded about it on my show. I said, if I don't live to see another Lombardi trophy, okay, I told people, I said, somebody please come to my grave and at least put some memorabilia for that next Super Bowl win. Now, again, hopefully I'm alive and kicking and see at least 2 or 3 more. But there might come a day when my full of life has ceased, and I'm there with you as well. I do everything I can to stay alive as I can. But you know what? I don't smoke. I drink every now and again, not too much, but my vice is eating. So obviously when you got a bad ticker like I do, and a great lady like Vicky, puts in some big a great Mexican meal in front of you, or maybe my boy Carmine in New York gives me a plate of veal parmesan with all of the, the cheese and all the things like that, or a pizza from like Jerry D in Jersey, and Jimmy Farrell, go out and getting a slice of, fresh, I'm not going to say no. Just like I said, you can live or you can not, you can breathe in and out. And I want to make sure that I'm living, and I'm right there with you, brother. And as I say this, Jerry Robinson says, hey, check your text messages. And he sent me a picture of, you sent him in the mail, and it's your V57 series. And there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
I see a red, a purple, a black, and a yellow. If I'm getting the colors right, hopefully I'm not colorblind. And your series of distinctive cigars. And again, I definitely want to make sure I have a set. So I'll get with you and I'll make sure I PayPal you the right responses so that I have some for here in my house. Like I said, they definitely will not be taken out of the wrappers. They will be from your collection to me, because I want to display them prominently here in the room for sure.
I appreciate that, Captain. Look, and that's all I ask for all of my brothers and sisters of the leaf, I call them. Help me spread the word throughout the nation and throughout every fan base. I've had the pleasure of having cigars pre-game with fans from other teams, and there's no other better feeling than that. We understand the cigars and the art that is itself, and we're fellowshipping as opposing fans on game day morning. It don't get no realer than that.
That's for true. And like I said, that I know that all of the good times that we've had, and it seems like I've known you forever, and it's because of the spirit that. And whenever I get a chance, is that you're going to get a big captain's hug from me, and because we are both of that same ilk, man, brother hugs, and you need that spirit of warmth that you get from the family. That's for sure. And I'm going through my notes
Hey,
here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything major. Go ahead, Wayne. Before I go off on a
no,
tangent.
I was gonna say you said that brotherly hug and say, and don't be too proud to come up and hug a brother.
Oh no.
That's it just breaks the ice as far as how your day is gonna go. You know, evil can come at us from sun up to sundown, but you know what I always tell it, brother? Take a number.
Yeah, yeah. Now we alluded to it earlier, and now you were talking about your work with Janice and Smiley and the other things. What are there any other charitable things that you are doing nowadays as well that we need to know about? Like you said, you definitely have your clothesline, and I love to say clothesline. I always think of the movie, the original Longest Yard, where Richard Kyle reaches his arm out and clotheslines him and says, "Hey, I think I broke his freaking neck." But no, we're talking about a line of clothes that you are talking about. So you have your clothesline, you have your cigars, but I know that you give your time very equitably to a bunch of different causes. I want to make sure that if there are things that you espouse as being important, that we get them out there. Now, I was going to make sure, and I'm going to plug this as well. This was for Jerry's cause, Jerry Robinson's cause, Shoes for Kids. It's shoes, the number 4, KIDZ. Shoes for Kids is his charitable organization that he does. I want to make sure that you have some equitable time to put anything out that you wish to make people aware of, and it would be great for other people to get into as well.
Well, like I stated earlier, besides working with Raider Nation for Life Car Club and their campaign with Kids for Cancer, I'm also trying to venture into working with autism and muscular dystrophy. So those are my two new targets as far as my charitable giving back, so to speak. It will be autistic and muscular dystrophy.
All right. Well, that's for sure. And again, make sure you are checking out. In fact, Homer says, I just bought his shirt that says, "Just do you. You can't F that up." I like that. I like that thought.
Yes. It's coming soon. Yes. Yes.
I'll need that in a triple, brother. I'll need that in a triple.
Yeah. No problem. Got you up to 5X, brother. But that's part of my positive line that kind of encourages looking at yourself and as you go through your journey in more of an uplifting way. People don't see stuff like that printed every day, but when other people see it, it speaks to them. So I don't have to go out there and beat the pound of pavement. The design and the sayings on the shirt sells the shirt itself, and that's just my way of keeping my spirituality in check and also planting that positive seed.
And actually, I'm glad you said that. Homer, and I will say this, I can attest to this. Homer quotes you when he says, just like Wayne says, plant the seed amongst the newer generation or things along those lines. It's up to us, the folks that are out there that have a microphone or a webcam in front of them, to do that, to plant the seed amongst the younger generation out there of what it is to be a forthright and true fan, and to go about and do that, plant the seed. And Homer's taking that from you. I know how I have as well. So you got two people that are disciples of the gospel of the Violator when we say that, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that, Captain, and kudos to Raider Homer. He's a trooper. And I'm going to say this on there, that anybody who uses their platform for positivity, I will always support.
Well, I appreciate that. I guess that means that I'm a positive person. I like that. Now, I would be remiss if I would at least say this. Okay, is there a memorable or most memorable Raider game that you remember that is above all else, or a meeting with anybody in particular? And it doesn't have to be a Raider, although I'm sure it probably would be. A memorable Raider game or a memorable Raider experience of you meeting somebody that stands out above all?
I've got 3 of them. I'm going to see if I have time enough to hit them all. the most memorable meeting was going to a post-game dinner when the team was in Los Angeles, and I got a note from security saying, "Be at this address, take your face paint off." In the middle of the freaking game, and I'm nervous as hell, like, what the hell did I do? You know, and that came from he said, this came from the front office. So I'm like, and it kind of distracted me in the game. So I had to get my wits about me and just, look, worry about that after the freaking game is over. Right now, we're trying to win this game. Now, as far as the most memorable game, that would be that AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans. And a few incidents went on that day, besides me getting a phone call, you know, a couple of hours before the game started to get to Oakland, you know, because I didn't have tickets that day. So that was put in the San Francisco Chronicle the week before. And I had no knowledge of it. But anyway, long story short, they said, get your ass up here. We got tickets for you and your wife. Get to the game. So I scrambled through the airports to find a flight. Only flight was out of John Wayne Airport. So anybody who's familiar with that area, Orange County, and me dressed in full garb to get on the plane right after 9/11, you can imagine what went down. As far as the players, when Kenny Stabler spoke with me at the Hilton in Oakland before he passed, he pulled me off in the corner, and he and I had a heart-to-heart conversation and brought chills to my goosebumps and tears in my eyes. He says, look, you're carrying a torch, and if I can say this on air without you getting any FEC, he says, you're carrying a torch, and a lot of people are watching you, so come out of that closet and carry that freaking torch high. You know, I see what you're representing, so go out there and do it like you're supposed to. That was really when I put my eyes back like the great white and just went forward with it.
Well, I tell you, I say that as well. In fact, Miss Pacheco for the For Life Our Raider story came up with when we were doing a Zoom a little while ago that, and that was the first time. Actually, it wasn't the first time I'd met her because actually we got some photographic proof that we had met out in Oakland, and you know, so somebody showed her a picture that actually we had together. But she came up with a drinking game, and the drinking game is that whenever I swear and I try not to, I really do. Homer knows me when I get into a conversation with Homer, and we're trying to get things done, because it's not that I'm technologically or techno geek impaired. I don't do everything as quickly as these young bucks that do this for a living. I do it as well as I can for somebody that is learning as I go, and I pick things up. But when things upset me, my God, Homer will say that I have Tourette's, because you will just hear it fly. You will hear it fly, and I do it to Homer, and it's fun because Homer knows that, you know, I'm not swearing at him. Although it's coming out towards him, I'm not swearing at him. You know, I'm swearing because of the things that are frustrating to me. And it's funny, but I try not to do it on my show. So anytime that I am on my show and I drop an F-bomb or something, I'm supposed to drink. So Ms. Pacheco has put it out, so it's kind of like the Captain Jack drinking game. And you're not going to get drunk on it. I mean, occasionally I'm going to be doing some shots, and you got to do some shots with me. So Vicky, who lives down the street from me, she's actually sending me a Raider shot glass or a pirate shot glass, one of those things. And I have my Raider flask thing. It's right over here, by the way. Let me get it on camera. So I'm taking it out of the plastic when I get the shot glass from Vicky, and it is coming. So anytime that I do swear, I will take said substance from my Raiders flask thing here, and I will put it into my Raider shot glass. And, you know, it's not like the old, and I know you know this, the old Bob Newhart, Hi Bob show. You know, you would watch you'd watch Bob Newhart, and anytime that somebody would say Bob, you had to take a shot. And if anybody said hi Bob, you had to finish the entire thing. So after the end of a Bob Newhart show, you were pissed drunk. You're definitely not going to get pissed drunk with me, but it is going to be fun for sure on that. But Jerry's calling me right now. I can't take the call, Jerry. I will get back to you in a minute on this. But it is a drinking game, and so anytime you want to have at least probably a couple shots a game. Sometimes the F-bomb's going to fly, especially when I have a troll, and every time I do a show, he gives me a thumbs down. So I'm actually surprised. I think that he has enough respect for you that he didn't do it yet, or at least he'll do it maybe after you're off the show. But if you come back on YouTube later on, you'll probably see that I get. And by the way, if you've enjoyed watching the friggin' show here, I mean we've had Violator on for over an hour and a half, just espousing the greatness of the Raiders, and the greatness of the Raiders is its future and the past, and all of the Al Davis colloquialisms that you could ever have listening to Wayne. If you can't get happy listening to what Wayne said tonight, what Ken Thompson said the other night, what Jerry Robinson said on Friday, you're dead inside. You are dead inside. I don't care, Ed. Ed said I'm gonna jinx it, but it'll come back. He'll give me a thumbs down. And I went off on him the other night, so I had about 5 or 6 FUs come out for this particular child that does this to me. But again, I think he respects you enough that he didn't do it while you were alive. Somebody's probably calling him right now, because I know who it is. Somebody's probably calling him right now, say, hey, you're delinquent on your thumbs down to Captain Jack. I do want to say this, Wayne. We've gone through all of this. I hope that you've had as much fun as I've had. My last 3 interviews have been fantastic. Again, with you, Ken Thompson, and Jerry Robinson. So, Captain Jack's the sailor must swear accordingly. Matt Marinovich says this. I love Matt. Obviously, he's got to be related. Is there anything that I might have missed that you want to put out there to all of the people here? Because I want to make sure that we leave with everything that we can. I'm squeezing the sponge, as we say. I'm getting as much out of this because I enjoy you. I miss you immensely. I miss not being able to see you and Ken and Jerry personally, because it bothers me. I am a very personable, like you said, huggy kissy type of guy, and it bothers me that I can't do that. So I want to make sure that if there's anything that I might have missed that you want to make sure that gets out there to everybody here, your platform, please take it away, sir.
Well, first of all, brother, I appreciate the heartwarming remarks that you make. I know it's truly from the heart, because we're not two guys that BS each other or anybody else. But lastly, let me say this to the nation. I only wish the best for you guys, and like I say, those of you who I know and don't know, haven't met yet, looking forward to it. But listen, take care of yourselves. Always keep honor about yourselves, and teach that to anybody that's younger than you. Teach strength and honor. Those will never die through the test of time. I look forward to seeing you as soon as it's safe to do so. Meantime, you can check my clothing gear out, and I'm sure Jack will put it up, moto-sports.com. That's my gear. And hit me up personally for the B-57s. I ship around the world, and all peace and love to you. Violator, and I'm dropping the mic.
All right. Well, Wayne, thanks again there, sir. I saw that you literally dropped the mic at that last interview for the show that you did. When we were leaving Oakland, you said you're off the watch, and I'm going to do this militarily because I'm relieving the watch, sir. You are relieved, and please go back and do all that you want to do. I salute you right now as I have the watch and others have the watch for you. we will make you proud, and we will continue the same positivity and forthrightness that you have brought to us, sir. You are relieved, sir. I'm standing the watch.
And I'm clocked out on that, brother. Keep spreading the love. And like I say, look to hug on you guys in the near future.
Thank you there, partner. And again, please say your website one more time there, Wayne, so in case we want to, I'm going to get with you, but in case others can get into your clothesline, I'm going to need, like I said, the one that Homer has. You can't F that up. That's me. I got to get that for sure. But go ahead there.
I would spell it out. It's modo-sports.com. modo-sports.com. Hit me up or send me an email, wayne@modo-sports.com. And I'll be happy to answer any questions or inquiries you have. Stay blessed, stay Raiders, and let's go get one another.
That's right. And again, look for Wayne's book coming out. You said it's going to be in the fall. I'm going to definitely buy it. I'm going to send it to you so you can autograph it for me as well.
It'll be out in November. I'll keep you posted.
All right. And Wayne, if you wish to drop the phone, like you said, literally drop the mic again. I personally thank you for being here, sir.
My pleasure, brother. Like I say, keep doing positive things, man, and I'll be back on in another episode.
Oh yeah, like you have carte blanche to come on anytime. You, Mark, and any of the other crew. Actually, I want to get a hold of Pablo and Sean to come on as well, because again, it's always a pleasure to talk to the folks that are out there in the forefront and people know, and we want to make sure that goes on as well. I like I said, and remember the spirit of Azel, otherwise known as Oaktown Pirate. Remember the spirit of Raider Ron Rickard. Those folks as well. And there's another one whose name escapes me, and I can't remember who it is, but we've lost some. We lost Gloria, the Raider lady that was on the cover of the ESPN magazine, centering the ball to Kaepernick. We've lost a lot of people. And we want to make sure that we keep that spirit alive amongst all of the fans. Like I said, we are easily recognizable fans. I'm with you on that term, super fan, ERF, man. Easily recognizable fan. If you can't recognize me as me with this white beard, even if I'm wearing just a Raider shirt and a Raider hat, I mean, come on, man, you could recognize me. Now, Wayne, I can see. You know, if you walk by him, although you said that people don't do that very often anymore, but come on, you know who I am. So yeah, easily recognizable fan. Wayne, I'm looking at the clock. I've had you on for 2 hours, and you were on a little bit earlier, waiting for the promo. So again, sir, I thank you for all your time, sir.
My pleasure, brother. Like I said, the only thing I lay on you as my sword, keep doing what you're doing.
I will. You know I will, shipmate. And thank you again, sir. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Captain. Arr.
Arr. Good night, sir.
All right. Good night, brother.
Take care.
All right.
And that was the Violator. We had him on for 2 hours. I know we had some of the time in there. My goodness. And I'm gonna open up the phone lines, because I still want, if you're still on the line, and I'm actually if you're still here, because I actually was planning on having this be my first program. Let me get my Skype up here. Apologies, I do this by myself, folks. So try to do it all at one fell swoop. Sometimes it happens. If you're still here. As I do a bunch of the other things, let me see here. We're going to put up the Skype. There we go. And we are going to put up the number. There we go. And there we are. If you wish to call in via Skype, the Skype number is, or the Skype lettering is right there. Captain_Jack_Rackham. Or if you want to call direct, and again, thank you to the Violator for being on the show. I did want to at least have some folks come on, and if you're on right now and you've been watching, and again there are various people that are on Facebook. Again, Jerry Robinson, I know you called. I apologize, sir. You were on the phone. Maybe Jerry will call in. Oh, there's is that Steve calling in? Now I'm gonna see. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Houston, Steve. Steve Hawes is on the phone. Steve, how you doing there, shipmate? Good to hear from you, brother.
Good to hear from you, boy. That was an excellent interview. All your interviews are. You and Homer are really, and Murph, and you guys really set the gold standard. But I wanted to ask, you mentioned that you were supposed to meet somebody at the end of that at a certain location. I wonder if that was Al Davis. And I've always wanted to know, what was it like? I'm sure he met Al and Al Lucas Al and all the other, Mark Dane and stuff. What would that be like? And I want to ask you, did you meet any of the three people? I'm sure you did at one time or another, or ran into them at a function like Commitment to Excellence or one of the other things. I just want to get your insights of people you met within the Raiders organization that you thought, oh, I didn't really know that. We would know it because, we weren't fortunate enough to meet them. I just wanted to get your thoughts about who you met. I'm sure you have, or, anyway, I just want to get your thoughts about that. And also, I wanted to, tomorrow's Memorial Day, and when I was a teenager, my parents wanted to take us up to the, to the Capitol and everything. And my dad being in the Navy and everything, this is kind of an interesting story. When he was down in Cuba and everything, down in Havana, the casinos are run by, the mafia, basically. There's no other way to put it. But he was in a bar with a bunch of his shipmates, and one of the Cuban nationals told him that there's a man up in the mountains that's going to come down and overthrow Batista, give him all these freedoms, and 6 months later, that's what Castro did, and then he gave him, first thing he did was health care, but that was, and my stepfather was flew 178 recon missions during Vietnam and everything. They said, if you can't get the picture the first time, don't go back because you'll get shot down. And then my uncle was in Korea, and my brother-in-law was in peacetime at Kissinger in Germany. And then my great aunt, she married a man by the name of Ray, and he was one of the doughboys. I remember seeing him in his American thing. So, but anyway, my whole point was is that when we were up in Washington D.C., my dad made it a point of taking us to Arlington National Cemetery. That single event changed my life. I saw all the graves, and that really brought the gravity of the situation. And you see about it in books and everything, but then when you actually go there and see the changing of the guard, see the Kennedy flame, and they say, the children go there, and they're all excited, making all this noise, and they leave and they're quiet. It's a complete transformation we saw at Arlington. So we'll never forget our veterans, and especially the ones that perished, but also the ones that served and came back.
Right. Well, I wanted to say now. Granted, Wayne is off the line, so unfortunately, you don't get a chance to ask him. But I was actually going to ask him, and actually, I want to make sure I thank him while I'm thinking about it. So I'll text him real quick. I wonder because you said it was in the Coliseum. Coliseum. There you go. I'll get it right. He said make sure that you get the the call in. Somebody's calling me now. I don't know who it is. It's from Cali, but I'm on a phone with you. Unfortunately, whoever's calling me, and it's on my cell phone, so it's somebody that I know. I don't know who it is. The place that was like, make sure you take your makeup off and get ready. He didn't say who it was. Maybe that will be in his book.
I was thinking that one. That's from all the things that I could gather from it. I was thinking, I bet that was Al.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Al would do and everything. So I can't wait to get his book. And the first time I saw him out there was in the game in 2011, and I was walking across the parking lot, and I've always seen him on TV. Him and Gorilla and Fort Ron and Raider Gloria and Azell. They showed, especially those people. But he was walking across the parking lot. That was the 10 people game that we lost about 14 points and we were ahead. And he was so disgusted. I was disgusted. I thought, not only did we lose the Broncos, we lost to Tebow. We were disgusted.
Ooh, yeah, I remember losing to Tebow. That was that's a hellacious thing to say, losing to Tim Tebow in the pros. Now I can understand in college, but not in the pros, man. Not in the pros. So, yeah, in Oakland. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Oakland. I was at that game you mentioned about the Cowboys. It was the first Thanksgiving game of the Raiders and the Cowboys, and that was I was all pumped up to be able to see, the fact it was the inaugural season. But
Yeah.
it's just amazing. I love all the interviews and all the stories, and I just eat this stuff up because it's so fascinating to me about Al and of course Mark and Carol and Mark Verdane and Al Lucas, Al and all the other people behind the scenes, and Ron Wolf, and of course Sal Mayock. And I'm just so pumped about this year. I'm sorry, Captain.
No.
I with Felix tonight. And I thought, man, I got to listen to the show tonight. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, I actually, if you're with me still, and I appreciate that, make sure you share it out to everybody, because I'm not tooting my own horn. I swear I'm not. But if you can't share out the interviews with Jerry Robinson and Ken Thompson and Wayne Mabry, Violator, on the YouTube channel to people that will enjoy it, then something is amiss. And I mean, I got a chance to, and I think I've told people this before, that I was in the Stabler after party once he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and no, it's not Eric. Boy, I'm brain farting the name. Jeff Fuller. Thank you. Jeff Fuller, the 49er, and I had a conversation, and make a long story short, Jeff Fuller gave me his passes to the Stabler after party. So myself and I gotta let you go there, Steve, because Jerry Robinson is on the line, and I will continue this in a bit. And sorry about that. Jerry Robinson, sir, it's a pleasure to have you on, and welcome to the show as an addition to a great show that we already had. Thank you for being here, sir. Jerry?
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm so excited. Great job. I have really, truly enjoyed the Violator, man. He's like a brother from another mother. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And as I was listening to your show, I know you were busy, but I sent you 2 pictures. I text messaged you 2 pictures because he was talking about his B-57.
Oh, yeah. I told him that, yeah. I don't know whether you had a chance to. I said, hey, Wayne, while we were speaking, Jerry Robinson texted me a picture of the 4-pack of the cigars, and I let him know that, and I said, hey, and I went through the colors, and I said, I don't personally smoke anything, but I will have Wayne's cigars in my room here, because you can't have a Raider room without Violator cigars somewhere. Okay, that's for sure.
It'd be sacrilegious.
Oh no! Oh no!
Anyway, you know what happened was I was listening to the show and I had a problem with these AirPods, whatever it's called. I finally changed over to an iPhone and all that kind of stuff. So I was just trying to get used to it, so I didn't hear that right there. But anyway, listen, you know what? He fires me up. I enjoyed talking to him. I met him years ago. I was doing an autograph appearance at the Raider Image store in Ontario, California, and he walks in and he introduces himself to me, and he hands me his card with number 57 on it, this and that, and we've been friends since then, man. He's just a real good brother, and the words that he speaks, man, it touches you, because his passion, his passion, just like yours, just like all of the Raider fans. And I tell you what, that passion right there is what made it possible for me to go out there and give everything I possibly had on every single play and every single game. Because you know what? If we lost, you guys lost. You felt it just like we did. And so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much, man. I really did. I just had to let you know that. No,
well, thank you. And for folks, again, if you're coming in late, we had Wayne Mabry, the Violator, on for 2 hours. We had Steve Hawes, who is a great Raider historian, and love listening to Steve. And right now we are listening to Raider linebacker Jerry Robinson, who we had a chance to have on the show another night. And I actually asked him about the significance of his jersey. I didn't know. I mean, I wanted to know the story behind that. And he told me that he doesn't buy new jerseys anymore. He bought that one, he said that would be the last jersey that he would ever wear because, as you know, Jerry, nowadays, it's been since your generation of players, where free agency and the call to go to another club isn't as proficient then as it was now. Granted, you were, and I loved your story and for those that missed it, I'm going to say a little bit. Jerry was telling me the reason why he got out of Philly was it was a contract dispute. And see, I listened, Jerry. I did listen to your interview. I was actually here doing it. It was a contract dispute by Eagles owner Norman Brayman, who was definitely not as personable as the former owner, Leonard Toews. He offered you a Yugo dealership, and you basically told him to pack sand.
I told him, you go.
Yeah, there you go. You go. You go. So you went from Philly to the Raiders, and the rest is history. But Violator was saying that he bought that jersey, said this will be the last jersey I ever wear. And I did not know that. And that's why I wanted to know what the story was behind the jersey. Because, again, other than you being a 57, I mean, I know that it's been worn since, but I can guarantee you I don't remember anybody personally that wore it better than you in the history of the franchise. And I say that for sure.
You're so kind. I appreciate it, matey.
Yeah, arr. I say it and I means it. Arr, I spits me tar.
Anyway, man, hey, listen, I know you've got other calls coming in. I just thank you. I'm glad I was able to get through because, like I said before, when I talked to the Violator on the phone, we're just talking, and he's got that in him. He's got that spiritual thing in there, and he tells people things that through experience that will help you get through life and what's important. And I tell a lot of people, no matter how much money you have, that's not the most important thing. People are going to remember you for your money, but they will remember you for your character. So be good, be kind to people, man. People remember who you are and how you treat them. They don't care what kind of car you drive up in. They don't care where you live. People that live in some of those places have maybe some bad attitudes or whatever it might be. But you know what? I don't care where you live, how much money you have. It's all about your character. It's about your soul. It's about the way you treat people.
Right. Well, and again, I appreciate that, Jerry. I said I've loved the last 3 interviews I've done. Like I said, between you and Wayne and Ken, I'm just so stoked to have the season start.
What?
That I do have an old set of football pads. I have it in my garage. I want to sell it at a garage sale. I want to go put them back on and just go out there and go through a wall.
You go right. Now let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
The game was on for what, 2 hours?
Yeah, he was on for 2. Now, granted, he was on while I was doing the intro, kind of like I had with you. But he was on for a good 1 hour, 50 minutes of pure talk.
Okay, so remind me, how long you and I were on the phone?
2.5.
There you go. I love it. Okay, so it's a whole record right now.
Right? Yeah.
2.5.
That's
Okay.
right. You there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that, and I think Lincoln I was on with for about 2. So yeah, you definitely right now have the record. I'm going to go back. But right now, I know you're in the lead that I can recall. So it going through the clubhouse turn. And you know what? I know you. If somebody says that they've been on longer than you, I know you'll come back and make sure you beat that record. I know you.
Well, you know what? I'm always ready and willing to come back whenever you need me. So record or not, I'm always available for you, Captain Jack. And once again, man, I appreciate everything. You giving me the time to be on your show. I really, truly enjoyed it. And we're going to have to get, more people, more Raiders, more Raider fans, more, Black Hole, everything like that. So I really, truly appreciate it, buddy. And you know what? God bless you and your family, man.
And you as well. There are 2 folks that dropped the mic tonight, and I can't beat it. When Wayne Mabry drops the mic and Jerry Robinson dropped the mic, bing, bing, that's it. That's like Kobe dropping the mic on his way out. There you go. May he rest in peace as well. And many more for you, Jerry. Thank you. That was Jerry Robinson dropping the mic. And boy, I tell you, this has been wonderful. Steve, Steve asked me, and I'm going to answer his question. He probably wanted to get it from Wayne. Was who was that went down to, and he had asked him to make sure he had his makeup off and go up and to the. I would think it would be Mr. Al Davis, and if not, then assuredly maybe Mark. Okay. Yeah. And there you go. And I want to make sure that since I have him, Wayne just sent me another text. If you're looking to get into some fantastic things, remember Shoes for Kids, which is Jerry's charity group. Shoes, the number 4, KIDZ, shoesforkids.com. I think it's .com, but look up Shoes for Kids. It's got to be that one because I actually looked it up today. And then for Wayne, obviously, it's modo-sports.com. Modo, MODO-sports.com. That's for Wayne. And then again, Shoes for Kids for Jerry. We like reaching out, making sure that everybody knows the places to be. And it's awesome. You know, thank you again for being here again. And Steve's there, the great historian. Steve, I actually, in answer to your question, I have had a chance to meet Carol Davis when I was at the Stabler event. I was asked by Carol Davis's personal assistant. She went over to my table. I was dressed as I normally dress. It was right after the festivities there, and when I got the tickets from Jeff Fuller, and she asked me if I can come over to her table to Mrs. She said Mrs. Davis would like to see you. And I'm like, this is like being summoned to see the Queen of England. Okay, obviously this is after the passing of Mr. Davis, or but that is a royal audience. So I immediately went, oh, it's like, yeah, where do I go, man? I'm definitely not going to keep Mrs. Davis. So I went over there. Mrs. Davis was with her. Obviously the lady was there that brought me over. And then she has a big, large bodyguard, really nice guy. And I knew enough not to take pictures. You don't take pictures of Mr. Davis. You don't take pictures of Mrs. Davis. But I was content because the picture is here in my mind. The picture is here in my mind. And she's talking with me, and she asked me how long it takes for me to get all dressed up. And I told her, I said, well, it used to take about 2 hours, but now once you do it again and again and again, you get it down to a system, and I can probably get into all of my gear, except I can't get my earrings in. So I usually have to find a young lady, and I do this. I admit it. It's like, honey, can you help me put my earrings in? So like in my butter wouldn't melt in my mouth voice, and have a young lady help me put the earrings in if I don't have somebody that's there. And there's like one other item that I can't do that's on here around my wrist or whatever. But it takes about 40 minutes to get everything on, because I got the system, maybe a little longer in colder weather climates, because then I got to put on undergarments and then overgarments. So it does take a bit. So she was interested in that. And she took a picture. This is Mrs. Carol Davis, took a picture personally while I was there, and that was thrilling. I've had a chance. I know Kendra Stabler very well. I know Kim Ross Bush very well. So Ken wasn't there, and may he rest in peace as well. So I do have that I know the Stablers. I didn't meet Alexa yet, but I'd like to meet Alexa again. I know Kendra and Kim Ross Bush. I know Ted Hendricks personally. I do know, obviously, Jerry Robinson personally, and I love that. I know, Killer, Henry Lawrence. I know him personally. And so we'll get a chance to have these folks on, because, again, I enjoy having them on telling their stories. So, again, make sure that you are here. And as I have more people to come on, and I know Homer will have more people to come on, you will be entertained here. And, John Kingdon is a personal friend of mine, great guy. Make sure you're out getting his book. So we will support the people that definitely, it's nice to support here. So again, I have met some of those folks. I have met Mark Davis again at that same Stabler event. So it's a pleasure when you actually meet people and not in their element. Actually, in that Stabler event, I got a chance to, and I'm going to throw you people as well. I don't know if you know who it is, but Mr. Lem Barney, okay, who is a Hall of Famer, he was at that event as well because he is in the Hall of Fame. He was at the after party. Again, I got a chance to meet Jeff Fuller. They're a great guy. But Lem Barney, a Lion great for years and years, a fantastic cornerback, he wore number 20. And I got a chance to talk to Lem Barney and say, "Oh, I remember you, number 20." And he was surprised that I knew what his number was because, again, after Lem got out of the NFL, it was worn by Billy Sims and then, of course, Barry Sanders. So when you see a 20 jersey, most of the younger crowd knows that that's Barry Sanders' jersey, and before that, Billy Sims. But I knew that it was Lem Barney, the Hall of Famer, that actually wore 20, and that was the first Hall of Famer from the Lions who wore 20 to get into the Hall of Fame. Billy Sims is not in the Hall of Fame, but he is definitely a Lion great. Not a lying great, a Lion great. And hopefully we'll have some more people on there as well. There we go. Line is open. We've been. It's 20 after 11. And did I get a chance to meet John Madden? No, I did not. I'd like to. I really would like to. Actually, if I ever get a chance to, and I know I'm going to get a chance to. I mean, like if I know he's at an event, I'm going to bring. And I have a first edition copy. Let me see where it's up there. Was it? Hey, wait a minute! I wrote a book, which is John Madden's first book, first edition copy. So I'd love to have John Madden sign it, and I do have his autograph that I bought from one of those people that you pay for. So I do have John Madden's autograph picture. So I do have it. I'm very happy about that. Unfortunately, I did quickly meet with Mr. Davis, but I was in a group of people that saw Mr. Davis come out of his hotel. It was either in New Orleans or Jacksonville. I can't remember which, but I did get a chance to see him quickly in person, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So that would have been great, in that respect. But that's why I love having players on, because again, you get to hear their stories, and I appreciate all the positives that both Wayne and Jerry and also Ken said about me personally. It makes me feel good that I'm held in high esteem, and I love those folks to death. I do. They're awesome people. Line is open 813-699-0834. If you want to go ahead and call in, if you're watching from Europe, and I know that Kel was on the line earlier, he probably went to bed. It is a holiday tomorrow, as well in Europe. I think is it Banking Day, or one of the May Day events? Maybe you call it May. Although true May Day is May 1st. That was the Soviet Russian holiday, May Day. But there is a holiday in Europe as well. So if there are folks that are there from Europe that are still here, and I do have my Skype open, I'll make sure. Yep, I do have my Skype open. If you want to make a call from Europe, and again, I appreciate everyone. Oh, Tommy Bouchane is in here. Outstanding. Tommy is in the UK, and I hope he's still there. By the way, if you are on Facebook, thank you for being on Facebook, but please come over to YouTube. I appreciate that. Please come over to YouTube. The YouTube channel is at the top, youtube.com/c/Captain Jack Rackham Levy. If you're already on YouTube, thank you. I know that I had some people that are watching from. Let me see here. I'll throw over my Twitter real quick. It looks like I had at least 9 folks on Twitter, and I usually have at least one person over on Twitch. And I will say this: if you know of a younger generation Raider fan that is on Twitch, please tell them to follow me on Twitch. I'm sure that you can find me. You can find me on Twitch. There. To see it's going through the process. It doesn't show you. I thought I saw 9. Well, it was at 9. Anyway, maybe it's at 0 now. But there was 9. The last time I saw it was at 9. So we have Twitter, we have Twitch, we have YouTube, and we have Facebook. Please come over to YouTube. Line is still open though. If you want to make a phone call tonight, I'm on a little bit extra because I wanted to make sure I had a chance to do the regular call-ins. Jerry called in, Jerry Robinson, and yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see who this is. All right, 510. Who do I got on the line? 510.
This is Silo.
Hey, there we go. How you doing there, brother? Let me do a transition here, so nobody else will call in while you're there. I don't know. I think I might have your number here. Let me see if it showed up. Okay, nope, it didn't show up. Okay, so I am going to add you here. So hopefully the next time you call in, if I have my phone on, then I'll know it's you because I'll have this on and it'll show up if it goes to where the phone is, and we'll have you there. So yeah, this is Asylum. Who they let you out of the padded cell for a little bit. Thank you there, shipmate. Good to hear from you.
It's a holiday weekend, they give me a little extra time.
Yeah, well, then be kind to your nurses on the ward, man. Thank you for them.
I'm always kind to the nurses. It's the doctors that I have issues with.
That's for sure. How you doing tonight there, shipmate? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good. It was a great interview. I love Violator. Actually him and Lady Chains were a big influence and a big help when I started becoming a quote unquote super fan. Even to the point he sat me down one time. I was going through a bad time, you say, early on, and he sat me down, gave me advice, and didn't even hesitate, and pointed me back in the right direction, and got me back on the right track. I mean, he's a great person, and he's willing to help anybody and everybody.
That's true. Like I said, the first time that I remember meeting Wayne was out in Oakland when I had first gotten my season tickets. And I think it was 2016. No, it's got to be quick before that. Okay, it was left that place in the Caribbean, so it would have been 2015. So I got a chance to be out there. 2015, 2016. Met Wayne personally. I might have seen him prior to that, but I don't recall it. But I remember seeing him and Sean, which is that picture that you have where I had for the interview. The one on where this is black. And it was at the time I was putting dye in my beard. And what a pain in the ass that is. So I'm like, I don't do it anymore.
Are you telling me?
Yeah. I mean, my hair is naturally black. I don't dye anything. I have some silver or gray in my hair, but I don't dye my hair. I don't dye anything. I don't do that anymore. So this is au naturel. So if you like the old the gray beard, then you got it for real. But yeah, Wayne being a great guy, man. Go ahead there, Ken. I'm sorry, I went and.
Oh no, it's you and me both. I've never dyed mine either. I just once it started happening, even at a young age, I just kind of let it go. It was too much work. I'm telling you, when you got a big beard, it's just too much work to color and everything.
Yeah, I would like to say while we do have you on the line, Asylum and myself and Raider Homer, the first of the Raider Invasion podcast. It is a go. It's been put up online. I know Homer. Go to the Homerisms page. Go to Raider Homer. He'll make sure that it's there as well. I'm not sure what else. Do you know where else it's at by any chance?
I believe it's on his YouTube Raider Homer channel. I believe it's also on the Raiderholic page. He put it out in a bunch of different forums and everything, but. I definitely know it's on his Raider Homer channel.
Okay, cool means.
Both Facebook and YouTube, I believe.
Got it. And one other thing is that we'll be continuing to do the podcast, both Homer and Asylum and myself. We'll have to figure now. if and when I go out to games, I might not be as available as I was when we cut it the first time. But we'll continue to do them throughout the year. And I did get a Buzzsprout account today, so I will be having. I used to be on Spreaker. I canned that membership, so I'm on Buzzsprout, and I'm going to be having my own podcast as well. So it might not be as long. I'm not sure. Hopefully I have Miss Angria with me if she's available. If not, then I'm gonna, I'm definitely gonna do some stuff with you guys, but I might just do one for myself as well. We will have content for you. So if you're ready for Raider content, you're gonna have it this year with us. That's for sure.
That's for sure. I'm hoping so. I actually had a great time. It was really, believe it or not, my first podcast. And I got to hear firsthand that Sailor's Mouth you guys, it was actually quite funny in my book. But, you sound like I do to the doctors, really.
Yeah, the cuss them out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like I said, it's whenever I'm talking about something that is infuriating me technologically, I will let it fly. That's for sure. It's not something that I do deliberately. But again, if you're playing the game, and it's probably the Captain Jack is cussing game, then you make sure you have your shot glasses ready. And once I get my shot glass in here, we will do that. I do want to say one other final thing as well. I did get my Raider trains back from Ken Heverin. I haven't put them on the track yet, but I did see a video of them spinning around. So unless they've miraculously stopped working from Maryland to here, they were working when they were on Ken's track. So hopefully they will continue to work. Maybe when I get a free minute tomorrow, I'm actually gonna, even though it's a holiday, I got some work I got to catch up on for work. So I will do some videos of that real soon as well. How are you spending your Memorial Day, Asylum? Are they letting you out of the padded room again?
Yeah, actually, they let me out to sit there and be able to decorate the Raider part of it. I need to put more stuff in my Raider part of the cell and everything, and go there. It's been a long and tedious process. I got a whole lot of stuff, so I got to, meticulously put it in the right places and everything, figure out where I want it. But other than that, it's going to be a simple, easy, not a lot of doctors in. They're off for the holiday, so just me and the nurses.
So you got nurses and a bunch of interns.
And a bunch of interns, yeah.
Yeah, well, stay away from them interns. And also the phlebotomist, and I said that correctly, by the way. You know what a phlebotomist is, right?
Well, I thought I did, but maybe I don't.
A phlebotomist, and actually Metal Cindy was a phlebotomist. And a phlebotomist is the people that actually stick you to get your blood. So that basically your blood people are called phlebotomists. And if I have that incorrect, somebody check me on that. But I'm pretty sure that is the actual technical word for a phlebotomist. Stay away from the phlebotomists that are new, because they will stick you.
I hate needles, so I stay away from them all.
They will stick you at least 6 times before they find. Now, actually, and I'm pretty happy about this, is I don't know if you can see that, but I got some good veins, man. At least up here in the arm, I got some good. Now I got some bad veins down in my legs, and we're gonna take care of that because I do have some varicose veins going on down in the legs, and they call it reflux, and it's not acid reflux, which I already have, but it's a blood reflux. So I'm gonna get taken care of down in the legs. I have some issues down there, but in the arms, I am good to go in the arms. I mean, you'd have to be a real schmuck not be able to get a good stick on me. That's for sure.
I'm opposite in the arms. I'm hard to find in the arms, but anywhere else I'm good. It's just the arms. I'm hard to find.
Yeah, well, but then again, they have to get you out of your cell. Maybe that's one of the reasons why too.
Well, the straitjacket might have something to do with it too. Getting around. They got to put a slit in it and everything else, and then if you fuss a little bit, then it moves around, gets in the way.
Yeah.
That's the big material that they got to get past. They don't, it's not small and little material. Those straitjackets are pretty strong.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they wouldn't be doing their job if they weren't.
Well, sometimes for some people, as long as you keep the arms immobile, it goes a long way. But then you got those certain people that superhuman strength or whatever you want to call it, and could just rip them right open and everything else like that. So I get the heavy duty chains and the thick straight jacket, canvas style. Then I got the cage, that I'm eating through. So
Yeah. Well, but you're doing a real good job of that. Hey, and partner, I appreciate you calling in. It's always a pleasure. Again, make sure you check out Asylum, myself on Raider Homer as well. We will be doing podcasts all this year. Great, great having you come over. And you're in Missouri too, correct? Or are you in Kansas?
no, I'm in Kansas.
Okay, so at least you're not in misery.
No, I'm not in misery, thank God.
Yeah, there you go. Your only misery that you have is the padded cell.
Is a padded cell, correct?
All right. Hey, thanks again, there, partner. Always good hearing from you. You take care out there and have a wonderful day off tomorrow.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. That was Asylum giving us a call in. And if you liked what you heard, thank again. If you're still here on YouTube, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure. If you liked what you heard, please, if you don't mind, those thumbs ups are definitely worth it. I really appreciate it. If I missed you, let's see. Oh, drinking with Marines is fun too. Yeah. So the General, Danny Zavala, thank you for coming in. Good to see you as well, Vicky. She's run. Good guys are good. I'm running the. So Vicky's out playing pool. So I hope you're winning. And again, it's always good to hear from Vicky. And right about on cue, we hear from Jimmy Farrell. Jimmy Farrell, how you doing there, brother? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, just having a great day out here, listening to great stories from Wayne Mabry, and I know that you were here listening to Jerry and Ken. So I appreciate your ears being there. So what do you got going on there, Jimmy?
Well, just gonna enjoy my day off tomorrow with my girlfriend and just hang out and relax.
Yeah, I wish I could. I'm kind of behind on things I need for work, so I will be here doing work, but at least I'll be in a chill environment, so I'll be doing something. But it's better. I had a really good meal. I had so we still have some pasta left over from one of the franchise Italian places. We don't have the Italian food like they have up there where you are. Okay, let me just say that. Okay, I don't apologize for it. I just say we don't have mom and pop great Italian food. You don't get that outside of Philly and New York and Jersey. Okay, the farther away from Jersey and New York you are, your Italian food sucks. Now I do remember, when I was a kid in Orlando, there was it was Mike Agati's dad, and because Mike Agati went to school with me, and obviously Agati, he's Italian. Mike Agati had his Italian place, and I used to love going to, because it was real ma and pa, and then their waitress was actually another guy I went to school with, Brett Souza's mom. So we had the Souza and the Agati, the clan was there, and it was real Italian food. So that was the only time I've had real Italian food where it was like being right there in like a Philly or New York environment. So I know that, it's different, but I can't wait to have some good New York food if and when I get up there. I know you, me, Jerry D, definitely Miss Megan will go out there and get some good food. I can't wait to do that with the crowd. Remember, Carmine's up there, obviously, Johnny Loro, and we'll have a good time up there. So for sure, can't wait to have that.
It started. You're talking about New York. Are you going to Jet King this year?
Don't know.
I don't know if I'm going to go.
Yeah, don't know.
It's going to be way too cold to go.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, now here's the thing. I might go up there for the weekend, okay? because then I can stay indoors and maybe watch it somewhere and then go to the events where I'm again indoors. But to go up there, and that's if, the virus situation has gone down a bit, so I can at least travel up there. I mean, obviously, if I'm allowed to travel up there, I will. And I wanted to make sure as well, who was I know that it was Travis. Travis is making sure that we don't forget about Raider Nation Explosion, which is July 18th at the Madeira Fairgrounds. So again, there are events that are available to go out to. Again, July is a little bit too close to me knowing, and I don't foresee me being able to travel from Florida out to Madeira and back in July with the way things are. But again, if you are out on the West Coast, make sure you are going to Raider Nation Explosion 2, July 18th at the Madeira Fairgrounds. Again, I might... okay. I'm going to put Danny's comment in. I might go up to New York for the weekend, but whether I'm at the game or not remains to be seen.
Hopefully baseball will be back, like they're saying next month. July.
Yeah.
So maybe in August, you catch a game or something.
Yeah, actually, and I wouldn't mind doing that. I've never been to Yankee Stadium, and I want to do that.
Oh no! Oh
no.
God.
Now I've been to the where the Mets play. I can't remember what a City Field, right? Yeah, City Field.
City Field.
I've been to City Field twice. Very beautiful ballpark, and
I kind of like that stadium better than Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, but it's not Yankee Stadium though. Yankee Stadium and Wrigley and Fenway you go to because it's Yankee Stadium, Wrigley, and Fenway. You go there because of the name.
It's not the same as the old Yankee Stadium.
Well, I've never. Go ahead.
I know it's new and it's nice in it, but it's still. I mean, you can't say the stadium where it's built again. You can't say that no more.
Right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't know any better because I never had a chance to go to the original Yankee Stadium. No, like I said the other night when I was talking with Jerry, my dad played in a World Series game in Yankee Stadium.
Your dad?
Yeah, my dad.
What World Series?
It was 77 Yankees versus Dodgers.
So your dad was on the Dodgers?
No.
He was on the Yankees?
Nope. This is the trivia question, okay? This is the sucker bet.
Okay.
This is the sucker bet.
So he wasn't a player.
He wasn't a player, but he performed the national anthem ceremony earlier in the game at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yankees. So he played. He played the drums.
I have to check that out.
Yeah. I don't know what game it was, but I do remember that he used to tell me that because my dad was very small. He's like about 5'2", weighed about what is it? Got maybe 120 pounds. Very. I mean, he had some physical issues, which eventually celiac disease. No, I didn't get any of that. I got the bad ticker from his side of the family. My grandfather Phil he died when he was 48 years old because of the bad heart condition. Dad lived to be 52, so I'm looking for wood right now. I got him. I've gone past it a bit, thank God. But any day that I'm kicking is a wonderful day that I don't abuse. But that was the sucker bet. Go ahead.
I wonder if you can get that on YouTube. You can watch the national anthem. You know what game he did?
No. I would have to go back. I think it was Game 4. I remember watching it as a kid. And I remember, I believe NBC had the broadcast because that's who usually did the World Series back then. But I have a picture of it somewhere, And I was because I was talking with Jerry about this as well. Because Jerry was talking about playing Archie Griffin. I said, hey, I got a story about Archie Griffin. His backup played in a World Series game, and that was the thing. The guy that was Archie Griffin's backup at the Ohio State. I love the way that they say that. Because I chuckle.
Yeah.
The school that loses to the University of Florida is what I usually say. But anyway, Archie Griffin's backup, a guy by the name of Bob Johnson, and I said this in the Jerry interview. He hurt his knee, had to leave school and enlisted in the Navy, and then he became a musician, great vocalist, and he was the guy who actually sang the national anthem, and he was Archie Griffin's backup at Ohio State. And of course, my dad was playing. It was two snare drummers playing, doing the snare drum while Bob sang, and he sang it a cappella, man. I mean, no music, and it was beautiful. So I don't know. I don't remember if the organist played. I don't remember that, but I know that there wasn't any band. It was because my dad was in the Navy, but all of us, they were all Navy guys, Navy musician.
Yeah.
So that's so I get to say, yeah, my dad played in a World Series game, and I'm not lying, not lying
That's pretty
either.
wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. The reason why I'm calling now, we know that the radio station, the game, used to do the radio games. Now they moved. So who's doing the pre and the post game anymore?
For for which market?
Well, I mean, which market? Like, there's got to be the radio station who does, the radio games.
Well, the Raider games that I got last year, they were on the network that obviously Brent Musburger was doing the play-by-play with Lincoln Kennedy, and it wasn't. I don't think it was Westwood 1, but
right. But that was still, I believe, it was still the game because they were in Oakland, but now they're in Vegas.
Right. So that's what I said. So which market? Because each market has radio stations that are for that market. Now I don't know.
Assume Vegas, I guess.
Right, but they'll have the Vegas will have its own radio station that will do that.
Right, because when I would listen to the pre and post game, it was just the game, and that was it.
Okay, now when you say when you're saying the game, you're talking about, was it KGO or KSFO, one of those?
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Yeah, and they're the call, or they're otherwise known as the game. No, they're not carrying it. They're not carrying it. So if you want to, but there will be a flagship station that will have Raider games, and actually the flagship station will be in Vegas, and one of those Vegas stations will be the flagship, and then everybody else that wishes to carry Raider games. Excuse me.
I have CBS Sports Vegas on my radio.com.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to do the pre and post game, but Fox 5 TV is going to be doing the game.
Right. And I know. I got along with Ken Matthews, who was a Fox 5 guy that I've done interviews with a lot. I mean, I think I've done like 3 interviews with him over the last 2 years. So at least when I'm dressed up, he definitely knows who I am. Now, if I walked up to him otherwise, he'd be like, "Who the hell are you?" But then, it's like, "Dude, Captain Jack." So then, but yeah, Ken Matthews, great guy, by the way. So yeah, I know that Fox 5, the CBS, or not Fox 5, but CBS 5 in Vegas is the flagship for the Raiders in Vegas for TV.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I got to check up on that.
Yeah.
Because I like listening to the pregame. I forgot his name now. He's always on the pregame. Romanowski. He usually comes on and talks about the pregame, does his predictions.
Right.
And,
but Bill stayed out in the Bay, so I don't know if he's going to be doing that in Vegas or not, because he was already in the Bay Area. He stayed there, and actually it was him and also the guy who played for both the Chargers and the Raiders at fullback was his cohort in crime for the TV coverage, and I can't remember what channel it was, but those guys stayed in the Bay Area, so they probably have a brand new crew for whoever the flagship is for CBS 5 in Vegas. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did a whole new cast, you know.
Yeah, I'll do it.
So,
Hey, I'll go out there. I mean,
I'm sure.
yeah. I said, hey, let me do it. I'll do pregame, and if not doing the whole pregame, I'll at least do interviews, or Captain Jack says I'll do a spot, man. That, I mean, for a fact that I definitely want to get into broadcasting for real. So yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat.
I think it should be you and the Violator. How's that?
Well, if Wayne wants to head out there, I don't know. I mean, I know I would, but we'll do that. Hey, Jimmy, I'm gonna let you go, brother. But it's always good hearing from you.
All right, good hearing from you too. Take care.
All right,
Bye-bye.
you take care. Have a wonderful day off, brother.
You too. Take care.
All right, that's Jimmy Farrell calling in from New York. We are here. Wow, we've been on for almost 3 hours. So I tell you what, I will do one more phone call. If you want to be my last caller of the evening, and again, I apologize. I had planned. Actually, I don't apologize in that respect. I plan to bring out the European audience on this broadcast, but again, I said Wayne's going to talk for as long as Wayne wants to talk. You are not going to get me to say, okay, Wayne, give me 30 minutes. No. I have questions for him, and Wayne was wonderful, and I went on later to make sure. You're Summer. Okay, yeah. Danny, the general. I said I'd like to do something, but again, until things get squared away, I'm not going. I'm not going to some things until I get squared away and the situation gets squared away. But if you want to be my last caller, please do. Line is open, 813-699-0834. 813-699-0834. Let me make sure I have on the right scene here. We'll do that. And we will fade out to where we are. Again, number to call, 813-699-0834. And we'll have one more last caller. By the way, if I didn't get a chance to do the full promo, but I hope you noticed. We had intro music with the straight intro. We had Viva Las Raiders. I almost said Viva Las Vegas because it's basically after the old Elvis tune. Viva Las Raiders by Raiderhead was on one segment of the intro. Then of course you have Fast Eddie Rice's version of Autumn Wind is in another portion. I didn't get a chance to do the full because I wanted to get the Wayne. So I cut it short. But we still have our Bludgeonator exit. And then I said, I'm going to get with Aaron and Shalif to figure out which one, because a 4-dub song I definitely want to use with permission. I will make sure again, with permission, you can use on the show. But if you would like to be my last caller, please call in. 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. I hope everybody liked the show. It was great to have you here. If you haven't already thumbs up the show, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that because I want to make sure I continue to be in the 90 percentiles, and I always have somebody come in and F up my day. So if you're watching right now, if you're watching this broadcast, if you're watching it live, or if you're watching a replay, please, if you're watching on Facebook, please, that's nice too, but come over to YouTube. YouTube.com. It's right there. It's on the screen right now. youtube.com/c/Captain Jack Rackamlevy. There are thumbs up there. There are shares there. Share it up. It's always good hearing from you. We heard from, not only did we hear from Violator tonight, we heard from Jerry Robinson again. Had a fantastic interview with him. So make sure you're going up for that. And, wow, it's awesome. And again, I'm looking at the comments. It's great to have the folks there. Oh, Anna came in. Thank you for coming in. Hot Neil came in. Thank you for being here. I missed people. I apologize. PMAC was in earlier. I missed him. Johnny Portnoy. Joe Morrow. Mr. Raider was in. Wow. JD came in. I didn't see him. Apologies. These are folks who joined us on Facebook tonight. Mark De La Montaña. Sean Kaufman, Eric Amalung, Jack Varela, Lee Weber was in and out, Josie Carrillo, Fred Lujan, Harold Hammer Folsom came in, Raider Rob Cruz, Jamie Garcia Del Real, Lisa Mangeli, my lady from PA. I remember Lisa well. And somebody's calling in. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, they're calling my private number though. Okay. I can't, I mean, I can answer the private number, but if you want to be on where people can hear you, you got to call the 813-699-0834. See, they're calling on my phone, and you guys can't hear that because it goes into my phone. And the only way for you to hear that was just be putting up the line next to, okay, it's still back there again. Please call. Oh man, I think it's Danny Zavala. I think it is. I think it's Danny Zavala. Please call 813-699-0834. Okay, Danny, if that was you, and I think it was you, call the number that was on the screen, 813-699-0834. The reason why is because I can hear you on my phone, but the other people can't hear you. You got to call the number that goes into the computer so people can hear you, okay? And I hope it, like I said, whoever was calling in, I'm sure that they have my number. Please call the number to the studio. Hot Neil is back in. Okay, Danny lives in Fresno, I guess, because Vicky asked him. I still can have another person call in. If that was Danny, let me see here. Let's see here. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. Yep, it was. Okay. Here. I'm gonna say. Okay. I'm gonna say call 813-699-0834 for studio. And this way everybody knows that's the number to call. So again, I believe it was Danny Zavala Jr., the general, was calling in. In fact, I'm going to make sure I put his number in here as well. So while we're here waiting, hopefully we'll get that. Hopefully we get that call in, and we'll get it, because I'm going to put him in here so we know who he is. And it's always good hearing from him. But hopefully he will call back, because I sent him an email. Say call that number for the studio. There we go. There we go. Got the message. Danny, is this you there, shipmate?
Share it up.
Danny, is this you?
Yeah, it's me, Kevin.
Hey, good to hear from you, brother. Like I said, you were calling my personal number, and I wanted to make sure that you knew you can call that number when it's just you and I. But if you want to be heard, you got to call the studio number, which is a Google Voice number.
Got you. Got it, baby. Got it.
Yeah, no worries, man. And I said I definitely want to hear from you. So how did you enjoy tonight's interviews? Hey, turn your
I've been listening for the past 2 weeks, and man, that one was a good show, brother. That was a hell of a good show. I got a lot of feedback from Violator and and Jerry Robinson, and oh man, good show overall.
Well, it's always a pleasure. Make sure you turn your computer down though when you're calling in, because we'll hear the feedback of, like I said, because we're talking live, and then about 7 seconds later or 10 seconds later it goes into that feed, so we'll hear that. But
Yeah, I just did that.
yeah, no worry. And
did you get my package yet?
which package did you send?
I sent you the general passes.
No, I have not gotten them yet.
Because I mailed it that day when we were talking. I mailed it that night, so you should be getting it.
Well, I'm very I appreciate that there, partner. I actually will have to I will have to get I will get a collection of the folks that send them out, and I'll probably have to have another wear item, because again I have my game vest, and I think I'm going to probably have a new game vest, because that old one it needs to be updated, and I'll probably get a new one for Vegas. I just got to get the right leather and put the patches on it. I have my Saturday one, which has the patches for all of the organizations, and that's my Saturday vest. I'll probably have, maybe I'll have a third one, which will be cohorts in crime, personas that send me out their patches and whatnot. So maybe that'll be the third one, or I'll put it on my Captain Jack jackets. I have that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but no, I thank you there, sir. I appreciate that. And again, what I'd like for you, and again, only because those who know the General Ron Rickard, with lots of respect for him, you need to somewhere put or get a patch to pay homage to him on your garb, and this way people know that you know and respect the heritage that goes with somebody calling you the General, that you know about Ron, and you pay him ultimate homage, and that you're keeping his spirit living through you.
So what was his last name?
Rickard, Rickard.
Rickard, okay. Yeah, for sure. Maybe I'll do something like a 5-star on it, like the way General, what's his name, McCarthy did. He was a 5-star general.
Yeah, but Ron had 4. I remember when Ron had his 4 stars, and actually I was looking to do that as well. They don't sell those. I mean, you have to buy. I went into a uniform shop because I was on base, and I was going to do the same thing in paying honor, but they're not going to let some old retired chief walk around with a real 4-star. So you actually have to go online to get the 4-star. Are you wearing 4?
Yeah, I'm wearing 4, and I got those out of one of those military shops.
Yeah. I gotta do something similar, in the fact that I would wear that with like in memorial, because I have, if you noticed on my my overcoat, I have on a Oaktown Pirate patch, because I want to make sure that he is remembered through me, and I want to do the same thing for Ron. So we'll do that as well, and we'll do that too.
Yeah.
But no, lots of props to you, brother. Bringing on that spirit. We definitely needed a general to keep shall we say, the troops fresh.
For sure, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, because you're retired with a Master Chief, right?
Okay, I'm sorry, Danny. What was your last? What'd you say last?
I said you're a retired Master Chief, aren't you?
No, not. I wish. I'm a retired chief who did everything to make Master Chief, but unfortunately, the selection boards didn't see it that way. So hey, that's okay. That's okay by me, man.
That's a big thing,
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I wear my Chiefs anchor, wear that with pride, there, brother. Whether I put a 1-star or 2-star there, didn't earn it officially, but yeah, retired Navy chief, and very proud of that as well.
Yeah, yeah, great.
Everybody thinks I'm an old retired, senior chief or master chief. I guess I just have that. I get that a lot, but I'm like, nah, I didn't make it, but I appreciate the promotion, shall we say?
Yeah, yeah. And remember when we were last year when I gave you the free shirt at the first explosion?
Yes, I still have that, by the way.
Yeah.
I
And hopefully, I'm gonna try to get some new ones because I got called out on that one. The Marine Corps emailed me. They told me I have to change my logo and because all that Marine Corps stuff is trademarked. So I was like, okay, no problem, no problem. So I'll take.
Yeah, actually, I still have it now. Granted, I need a bigger size for us bigger boys, but I still.
That was I barely had enough for those sizes, and I was just giving them out, and for my first time.
No, it was great. It was great that you did that because again, I still have the one that you have because obviously I would never give out, or actually I should say I would never disrespect not having it. What I think I will do is with your permission, there is somebody that I think would like to wear that is of that size. So I would say, hey, this was given to me and I'm giving it to them, and I'll make sure you know who it is. So if and when you see them wearing it, you know that is the shirt I have. But I'm not going to do that until I have a size that you have that's from you, and I can wear that. And this way, I can wear the newer size too.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine because like I said, it was my first run, and I was like, man, thinking of ideas, and I put a lot of money and effort into that, but the newest shirts that are coming out, oh man, they're gonna be so dope. I got a buddy of mine, Raider Travis, who's doing a lot of my graphics, and he's great. We live here in the same town, and we're really helping each other out.
No, and like I said, and that's the reason why. In fact, if you remind me, I would get it right now. But I wanted to make sure I am wearing shorts. Okay, I would say sometimes you get back here and I remind and like if it's in the morning, I'll admit it, I'm in my underwear. Okay, and I'm not gonna stand up and let people see what type of underwear I have. I do have Raider shorts on right now, but we are at the end of the show, or I would go in the other room and actually show you. It's folded. It's on my dresser. I have it right there for you, Danny, and I swear to God on that.
Yeah.
I'll probably transfer it. I'll bring it out of my room that I have, and I'll put it here with all my other stuff. So the next time you call, I will show you I still have it.
For sure, brother, for sure. I was like, when I gave it to you, when I first met you and started talking to you, I was like, man, you're a veteran too,
Oh yeah.
I was so excited about that, and I was like, here, man, this is, it's a veteran tribute, and I'm doing the military thing, and so,
Nah, man, I said the respect is there, and it's appreciated, Danny, and I appreciate you showing out for them as well. Appreciate you showing out as well.
For sure.
Hey, I'm gonna wrap it up, and I did want to make sure that's when I saw your number, I said I bet you that's Danny, and that's why I said, hey, call the studio number, and you actually have my personal cell. Not everybody does.
Yeah,
but you have the number to get into the show, so you know that when I'm on, you call the other number because this way people can hear our conversation.
For sure, I got it right here. I'm not gonna lose.
In fact, I got it in here. I was actually working on putting your name for getting it in. I will finish it when the phone call is over.
Okay, no problem.
Hey,
no problem, Captain.
Hey, again, General, the captain gives you a hearty salute out the door, and thanks again.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! Take care, shipmate.
Bye-bye, brother.
All right, bye-bye. That was the General, Danny Zavala, giving us a call in here. to wrap up the show for the night. And it was definitely a really good time having everybody in here. We are going out the door. We have a full 3-hour show tonight. Excuse me. 2 with Wayne Mabry, the Violator. Thank you for coming on as well. And fantastic for everybody. Thank you, Vicky. I can't wait to see Vicky's shot glass, and I will be able to use that real soon. But when it comes in, again, if you like the show, please give me a thumbs up, because I appreciate the. I like to get at least close to like 19. The reason why I say that is because I know, and I won't say it, but I like to try to get at least 19 to counteract both. Again, if you like the show, thank you. We will continue to have them. We will have other people on. Again, I've spoken with Killer. That's Henry Lawrence. When he gets a chance to, because Henry lives in my neck of the woods. He lives down in Palmetto, which is about an hour away from here. And I'm going to have Henry on in studio. I'm going to have Henry Lawrence on in studio. So you will see him and I in studio. But it will be after we're allowed to have contact, you know? I mean, I hate the situation. You know, I can't have folks, in and I got to watch what me going out. I hate that. I'm very personal, and I can't stand the fact that I can't be, the person that I am when I go out. So, Per Carlson is joining us. Per, I'm glad you called. Per is joining us from, I want to say it's Norway. Either Norway or Sweden. I always get that mixed up. I think it's Sweden. Per's in the house. Per, I just have I have the Skype capability. And so we'll have people that will be able to call in via Skype. And again, if you're joining us, thank you for being here on Facebook. Please make sure you go over to YouTube. Wow, we've been on for like 3 hours and 10 minutes. Thanks again. You will have a further entertainment for you in further shows. I will definitely be here for the Thursday show. We'll have one on Thursday. And as I continue to have guest availability, I will make that happen. Again, tomorrow is Memorial Day. I say this, tomorrow is Memorial Day. Please remember what Memorial Day is about. It's to honor and remember the folks that were in the service that laid down their lives for us so that we could remain the greatest nation in the world. I firmly believe that, the greatest nation in the world. And it was built upon the members of the armed services that laid down our lives in order for that to take place. So again, I always say, don't say Happy Memorial Day. Don't say Happy Memorial Day, because it seems wrong. Okay? Remember the fallen. Remember those that should be remembered on Memorial Day, and that is tomorrow. So again, if you know somebody in the service that either present or past, say thank you for all that you and your fellow service members have done, and it'll be well remembered. So I say that again. Have a great holiday off. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you definitely for the Thursday show. When I have other things to talk about, we'll talk about them. So again, thanks again. We'll see you for the next show. Thank you there, Vicky. Lots of love to you as well. Take care, everybody.